A full pitch delivery. Pleasant looking cover drive there from Zeta James. Tries to open her account. But no runs as the Trinidad outfit there, shutting it down in the covers. Just one run in the over thus far.
Yep, should be an exciting battle here between the bowler Kassar and Zeta James. We know that Zeta James has the capacity to both stick in throughout the entire innings and also provide some fireworks for us. So Kassar will have her work cut out for her. That's a good delivery along the line of the off stump. We can see a little bit of movement away here early on. A bit of overcast conditions as well. Not looking as bad as we've had over the last few days here, but maybe that contributing to movement here early on for Kassar.
Yes, and of course, the Winward Islands team, family members at home, these girls out here doing battle for their country. And back home with Hurricane Beryl just barreling down on the Winward Islands in the Caribbean. This one's pulled away by Zeta James, a shot that she's perfected in this series so far, and pulled away very well indeed for 4 runs, slipping down the leg side there, Kassan being punished.
Yep, terrific shot there by James. We've seen her attempt that shot a few times. It hasn't come off a lot of the times due to maybe a little bit of slowness in the wicket. And that brings us to the end of the over there with that boundary. The score is now 5 for 1 after the first over. Kassar going for 5.
And it's going to be as expected. Amrita Ramtahal is going to pick up from the southern end. Umpire Tudor is presiding at that end. And we'll just run through the Trinidad and Tobago team for this game. Just Kanika Kasa opening the bowling there. Deliani Espinoza. Brianna Harichan, she's a vice captain for this game, as she did with the injury to Katie Jazz Mitchell. She's going to stand in as vice captain. Zakia Harilal, Kira Manpol, Samira Naidu, Jessica Orozco. Tomika Pago will be holding the gloves again in this match. Captain Samara Ramnath, Amrita Ramtahal, who has the ball in her hand now, and Katrina Rubin. Now that is a Trinidad and Tobago lineup. It's going to be Felix now to take strike from Ramtahal. That's a good start there from Ramtahal. We saw her in the warm-up and she was bang on target there. Coach Kelvin Williams supervising proceedings. The coach of this Trinidad and Tobago outfit. He, of course, has done yeoman service for his country at the youth level especially, along with Gibran Mohammed and this women's team from Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, this is a peach of a delivery there. Just jogging back, beating the inside edge there, Adam, and also beating the off stump.
A pretty good delivery outside line of the off stump. We can see there's protection afforded for that drive. A good take by Fagu behind the wicket on this occasion, but we can see there is protection out there for that drive from the batsman. There's a sweeper on the offside boundary as well as a third man on the boundary.
A good start here from Ramtahal. Just angling. Getting this one to in-drift a little bit and just start too much with that new ball and takes it down the leg side. Pago collects behind the stumps. Amrita Ramtahal, of course, playing in that Intercol Girls Final for her school. The best school from South. Acronym for Barakpur East Senior Secondary. Captain of that team. Opening bowler here for Trinidad and Tobago. Have a look at the Roscoe there. The leg spinner. Fielding at a straightish mid wicket. There's a mid on, a backward square. Short fine leg for Ramtahal. It's the onside field. This one pitched up on the off stump, pushed down to mid off. No run there from Felix. There's a third man, a backward point. There is a sweeper on the boundary, deep cover. An extra cover on mid off. Adam, the 2 fielders out in the deep, a deep extra cover. And a third man.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of extra protection afforded here early doors. And this one is spooned straight back to the bowler, just landing short of Ramtahal. That would have been an early one, an early wicket to pick up there.
Yeah, Coach Williams would have wanted her to just have that follow through there. On her follow through, she could have snagged a half chance. But it was short for her. Felix just trying to get the pace of the wicket short of a link and just pushed back to Ramtahal.
So on full on that occasion, good delivery. Orozco will tidy up in short mid-wicket. That brings us to the end of a tidy over by Ramtahal. Only one coming out of it. Score is now 6 without loss after 2.
You can see a couple of the groundsmen just running onto the field there, having a look at a spot there on both north and south ends there. Perhaps just remarking some of the guidelines there for the umpires. The umpires just needing a little bit of an extra touch up there. Of course, Mr. Sonny Lal, the head groundsman here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And he's ably manned by Mr. Duvro and Mr. Richard Rampasad there under the tent, supervising proceeding out there in the field. They've done yeoman service here at this facility. We've had so many games affected by rain, and the ground staff has been very, very active, ensuring that they get play underway as quickly as possible. There is some clouds around here, some high clouds, not too many dark clouds though, but there is a patch of grey clouds in the distance. Let's hope it stays away. See the groundsman there just running off the field there. Been very nimble, very fit young men, ensuring that this facility is up to par, international standards. Kassar's going to continue. Short, rising delivery. Zeta James, who's not afraid to pull into the onside, got in a little bit of a tangle as that one rose sharply at her. She got the hook shot off, made its way down to long leg, and a single there. She got a lot of bat onto that one there. Takes her total up to 5. As Naidu out there in the deep, running around from, there's a long leg position to fine leg to retrieve, tumbling stop. Right-hander comes onto strike. And Naidu will stay in that third man position there now. Left hand, right hand combination out there in the middle. Kassar to continue. That's a very quick delivery indeed. Jogging back to Felix there. Striking high up on the bat. Some good bowling here. It's Captain Ramnath just running in from point there to assure Kassar. It's an excellent line and length she's delivering there. She's showing some pace here, Adam.
The ball is certainly flying through on the wicket. She's getting a good bit of movement here as well. The batsmen will have their work cut out for them. She's back in here again. This one again is jagged back inside. There's a loud appeal, maybe going down the leg. But again, good work by the bowler Kassar here, getting some movement early on.
We can see here there that cocked wrist pulling down on that seam, getting these deliveries to jag back into the right-hander. Yeah, definitely heading down the leg side, but prodigious movement there from her. Having a high seam position, excellent seam position. In fact, she's going to go again to Felix.
And again, jagged back into the batter, going down the leg side certainly on that occasion.
Yeah, just 2 deliveries to come in the over. Just a word to Kassar there from Naidu as she tosses the ball back to her, probably telling her just start a fraction more outside the off stump. On the onside, there is a fine leg, backward square, mid wicket, and a mid on 4 on the onside for this delivery, jogging back. That's a much better line there, just outside that 4th stump line and getting that ball to jog back in to that off stump. I'll give you the lineup for the Windward Islands at the completion of this over. I haven't forgot the fans in the Windward Islands. There's a bit of a change in the batting order as in the last game. We'll get to it after this delivery.
Well, Kassar is certainly putting the pressure onto the right-handed Felix here. Movement back into her. She's struggling a bit at the moment. Let's see as she comes in here for the last ball of her second delivery. Again, a really good delivery outside the line of the off stump. She was really close to getting bowled on that occasion, Felix. But that brings us to the end of the 3rd over. The score is 7 without loss.
Yeah, and there she's starting just a tad bit wider outside that off stump. And that is where she'd want to be with this movement, this exaggerated movement she's getting, swinging back in, beating the inside edge, beating that off stump as well. And Pago there just retrieving that delivery. It won't be easy for the wicketkeeper, the change in wicketkeeper for the Trinidad and Tobago team as well. For both teams, in fact, Tomika Pago coming in, standing in behind the stumps in the last game, taking over from Katrina Rubin. And we'll get to that lineup now. Zeta James is on strike, the captain of the Winward Islands team. Jaida Terrell, Delisha Francois, Amaya Gilbert, she should come in 1 down. The left-hand fast bowler Selena Ross, Natalia Phillip, Sadia Simon coming into the team last 2 games. Danielle Crease, the previous opener in previous games, she's going to have the gloves. But lower down in the order, Ramtahal to continue. Some nice shape there from Ramtahal, yes. Daniela Crease taking over the gloves behind the stumps from Kayla George, who's out. Destiny Edwards, the fast bowler. Nisha Alexander. And of course, Cyan Felix now at the non-strikers end for the Windward Islands.
Ramtahal is in here to James. This one is a well played down to the third man fielder. They will get a single.
Down to Naidu in the third position there on the boundary edge. Field shuffles are wrong for right hand Felix. Third man drops out. It's going to be a backward point. Looks to be Kasa moving into the cover position there. Extra cover mid-off. Ramtahal again in. Getting some shape on the ball there. It's a short third. Backward point. Or Roscoe. Beg your pardon, mid-wicket. Or Roscoe. Square leg. And a short fine leg. 3 deliveries gone in the over thus far. Good shape again. Bang on target, wicket to wicket. Yeah, just getting a hint of a swing away, catching the seam and just nipping back a bit. So the ball is doing something here for Amita Ramtahal, captain of the Barrackpore Senior, the Barrackpore East Secondary School. Yeah, starting this one too far down the leg side and just continue down. A little bit of difficult work there for Tamika behind the stumps. Tobago there taking over the gloves from Katrina Rubin, who kept in the first 2 games.
Ramtahal in here again. This one just sliding down the line of the leg stump there. Was maybe a thought of a quick single on, but James was having none of it. Sent back Felix. It is interesting to note here the fielder that is positioned in the sweeper position on the offside is just about halfway to the boundary. Maybe they're expecting a spooned up catch in that direction. But here's Ramtahal again. This one goes straight through everyone. There'll be a chase on, and seems as though the ball has gone to the boundary here. It was a good piece of work by Gilbert, but she just was not. Or by Ruben, actually, on that occasion. It was almost a good piece of work. She just was not able to get there in the end. The ball carrying too much pace through the wicket keeper.
It looked like Orozco there and Ruben chasing that one down to the boundary. She was running around from third on the boundary. The ball was beaten, the stumps beaten the wicket keeper. And a valiant effort there by Ruben. Full out dive, got a hand to it. But so much was the pace on the ball, so much is the outfield that fast at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy there. She just couldn't hold that one back in. It's a very interesting delivery there at the end of that over from Ramtahal. She's conceded 7 runs in her 2 overs. It's 13 with outlaws after 4. And it's going to be the left-hander Zayda James. We saw a very interesting over from Kasa, the last one. She pitched a short delivery in, rising delivery to James. And again, she's short down the leg side. But have we seen in the series thus far, James has been very happy for those balls pitching outside the leg stump, whether it's be short or full. And she's quick to get onto that back foot, trying to put those deliveries away. There is protection out there in the deep. And just 1 run takes the total up to 14. James on to 7. The Winward Islands, 1 win thus far, 1 loss, and 1 no result in a game against Barbados right here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. That game they made 79 runs and Barbados was on top for most of that game. Barbados trying to chase it down, and then the rains came. Not a ball bowled in that innings. Would have been very disappointing for the Barbados contingent. There was a revised total in that game. 57 runs they would have had to gotten after 14 overs. The players made it their way out into the middle, and before a ball could bowl, the rains came down, and they would have been bitterly disappointed. So Windward Islands and the Barbados team having to share a point in that game.
Kassar in here. This is a good delivery outside the line of the off stump. It's just cut away to the skipper, Samara Ramnath at point. So Trinidad and Tobago not able to clench an early wicket inside these 4 overs. And the few games we have seen so far, at least a couple wickets have been falling early doors, but The Windwards here holding it together. Batters out there in the middle. Cyan Felix and Zeta James motoring along well so far.
Some good delivery there. Kanika Kassar showing some good pace here, getting some good lift for the deliveries that she's pitched just short of a length. And even a couple short deliveries she's put in there, testing out the middle of this surface. It's a chain surface we're playing on here. So she's getting some bounce with that new ball, hitting that seam. And we're playing, if you're looking down from the north to the southern end, we're playing on the third strip across. Moving closer to the eastern side of the strip. And this one is up in the air. Felix punches a leading edge. And Kassar runs in and takes a dolly catch. She certainly worked hard for that wicket. First wicket falling. Cyan Felix for 5 with the total on 14. And you were calling for a wicket, Adam.
Well, Cyan Felix she was doing good work out there in the middle. This one, another good delivery. On this occasion, she was looking to power it maybe through the cover region. There was a bit of a slash. And Kassar is not going to drop it out when we take a look at this again. And again, movement back into the batsman. It's just spooned straight up into the air. Kassar completing an easy catch off of her own bowling. We see the back of Felix on this occasion, but it was good work out there. And we see the new batsman, Terrell, coming out into the middle.
It's going to be Jada Terrell coming in. She's going to have one ball left in this over to face, and then it's going to be the last over of the power play. So the first wicket falling for 14 runs. And Samara winning the toss, and this is exactly what she would have wanted. Her leading fast bowler taking over from Katie Jazz Mitchell, opening the bowling here. Kanika Kassar, and doing her country proud. Cyan Felix changing the batting order, and she's been asked to open the innings. She's gone for 5 at the first wicket falls with the score on 14.
Yep, new batter in here, Terrell to face. First delivery from Kassar to be the last delivery of her third over. She's in here and stepping across. Oh, and she's bowler actually.
And we've seen Kassar do this, pitching outside the off stump and getting that ball to jog back. And Terrell just stepping across, too far across, exposing that leg stump. And that ball, that hard ball being bowled there by Kassar, just crashing into the top of that leg stump. And a second wicket falling here. And this is a pattern we've seen in these power plays, Adam, that the teams keep losing early wickets.
Definitely. Interesting circumstances now. Felix and James had done a good job early on negotiating the first 4, but now Terrell will fall for no run off of one delivery. Kassar now finds herself on a hat-trick. It's been really good bowling, a tight line and lengths.
Yeah, Natalia Phillip there. She's making adjustments to her helmet. She doesn't have her gloves on yet. She would not have been expecting to come into bat quite yet. But she's going to have to face one over in the power play. At the end of that over, 14 for 2.
Well, again, we can see Zeta James is stuck on her end, trying to get through her work. Batters falling around her. She would hope that Phillip can stick around. Kassar, we can see having figures of 2 wickets for 7 runs off of her 3 overs. She has 1 over left. She will be on a hat-trick to start that 4th over.
It'll be very interesting if the captain Samara decides to give her that last over for that hat-trick. Of course, whenever she has to bowl, she'll be on that hat-trick. But with that momentum she has, just wondering if she'll let her bowl out. It'll be an interesting choice for her to make. As she's make another interesting choice here. She is herself, the captain, is going to come on to bowl this final over of the power play, and it's going to be to the attacking Zeta James. But with 2 wickets fall, it'll be an interesting over.
So skipper here. We see she starts with a full ball outside the line of the off stump. Zeta James looking to cut it away past the point fielder. It'll be a dot ball to start.
Yeah, just a change in the personnel there on the onside as well. Roscoe just swapping places. She moves to backward square. Ramnath in. Pleasant looking cover drive off the back foot there. Nice high elbow from the very accomplished batter Zeta James. She's been so impressive in this tournament thus far. Even though the wickets have been falling around her. She's had scores of 36 against Barbados and a 51 against Jamaica. And a reverse sweep. Such is the confidence of Zeta James there. Third delivery from Captain Samara Ramnath. tries the reverse sweep, gets it down to third, and they do scamper through for a single. It's a late call, and Philip responding, just holding the back of her leg there somewhat. That quick single, we look at it again. Have a look at this reverse sweep, Adam.
Well, you would feel like as though it's a mental battle more than physical going out there. We know both Samara Ramnath and James have excellent technical ability, but it'll certainly be a mental battle there.
See Zeta James there just looking, waiting to see if the ball would have been picked up cleanly. And at that slight fumble, they were quickly off. Philip there, not quite yet warmed up to the task, just coming into bat with the fall of 2 early wickets there. Not limber enough perhaps. Just pulling up a little bit gingerly there. Has to get that blood flowing, loosen those muscles up. She's going to face the first delivery now from Ramnath. A full start there. Philip just pulling out of it, not quite ready there. Has to settle herself. Certainly have a job to do. It's the last over of the power play. I just want to temper any aggression here just to see this over out. Inside edge. Down to Roscoe. At fine leg. Or Roscoe fielding in that position there. A lot of work to do for her so far in the over. Actually, it's Naidu in that position. Roscoe there at short third. So the left hand, right hand combination there. Just difficult for the commentators as well.
Well, not just for the commentators, the fielders have a lot of work to do in the outfield there. We've seen some fielders having to run from boundary to boundary. Samara Ramnath in here to complete her first over. She'll be bowling to Philip. She's in, and this is a good delivery on the stump. It's a quicker one. That brings us to the end of the power play. Score is 15 for 2 after the first 6 overs. We can see Kasar and Ram Tahal compiling a fair few amount of dots in there, 14 and 10 respectively. Kasar is picking up the only 2 wickets of the power play. So Philip and James will have some digging in here now to get through these middle overs.
Very interesting indeed. Kasar with 14 dot balls in that power play. And Ram Tahal as well contributing 10 dot balls. Samara in her first over, 6 dot balls. So I beg your pardon, 5 dot balls. So it's been 29 dot deliveries in the power play. Of course, Zeta James is out there. She's an aggressive batter. But just that loss of early wickets, she's grown accustomed to it. Unfortunately, in the Windies, in the Windward Islands lineup, she'll be looking for Philip just to stay with her. It's going to be a bowling change here. End of the power play.
It's going to be Brianna Haricharan to bowl her leg spin at the end of the power play here. She sends the sweeper fielder back. There is also 2 fielders on the boundary on the leg side of the deep mid wicket, and almost a cow corner, or rather a deep mid wicket and a deep backward mid wicket. She's in here as a dot ball of her first delivery to Zeta James. And again we can see the cover fielder, the sweeper, is halfway inside the circle. Again, maybe preparing for a spooned up catch. That's not going to make it quite to the boundary. This one is short and pulled away by James, but it was keep a little bit low there. She wasn't able to make proper contact. Orozco will tidy up in the deep. So it'll be a single here. It brings Natalia Phillip on to face her first delivery from Haricharan. Some changes made there by skipper Ramnath in the field. Trinidad women are now ready to continue with Haricharan. She's bowling to Philip. So on outside the line of the off stump, it's played down to the long on fielder. They'll come through for a single. James will get back on strike.
Two for 17. Power play done and dusted. 2 wickets falling in the power play. And immediately the leg spin of Harichan, the vice captain for the Trinidad and Tobago outfit, So captain and vice captain operating for Trinidad and Tobago. Flighted delivery on the line, just down the leg side there. Just some drift there from Harichan. Just conceded 2 runs in the over thus far. So the vice captain operating from the northern end, the captain operating from the southern end. And Brianna Haricharan will be bowling to Zeta James as she just gets some adjustment to the side screen.
Here's Haricharan. It's a flighted delivery outside the line of the off stump. Zeta James threw the entire kitchen sink at that one. For sure she would have cleared the field if she had connected. Not to be a dot ball on this occasion. So Zeta James here looking to step on the accelerator a little bit. The score is 17 for 2 after 6.5. Winward would feel as though they could maybe be doing a little bit better. So the final ball of the 7th over here. It's on the wicket. It's a classy drive straight down the ground from Zeta James. It will be tidied up by the middle fielder Ram Tahal on this occasion. So that brings us to the end of 7 overs. The score is 17 for 2.
Yeah, just that fielder being pushed past the 25-yard ring for the bowling of Haricharan, anticipating that booming cover drive from Zeta James. Her wealth of experience here at this level. Of course, she plays for the Winward Islands senior women's team as well in the just completed T20 tournament back in March. Exciting young talent. Miss Anne Brong and company will be keeping a keen eye on her, trying to get her eventually into that senior West Indies women team.
So it's Samara Ramnath here for her second over into Phillip on this occasion. Will be a dot ball. Samara Ramnath has had some terrific, not just bowling figures, but also batting as well. She's been on a roll, and for her young age, seems as though she's had a wealth of experience. In the first game, we saw a 49 not out versus Jamaica from Ramnath. Second game, a 35 versus the Leewards, and 2 wickets as well in that game. In a game versus Guyana, sorry. So Samara Ramnath here is motoring along well in this tournament. Again, an inside edge there, going behind square. So Ramnath creating some problems for Phillip here.
Yeah, a couple deliveries, Phillip facing up. Just a little bit of drift from Ramnath pitching. And enough spin just to catch that inside edge of Phillip's bat. We've seen it happen on a couple occasions. Just she plays a little bit bat away from the pad. Needs to get that left leg across. Zeta James is going to come down and speak about her getting that left leg down the wicket and in the line of the delivery. Telling her she's up against a very experienced campaigner, Ramnath.
Yep, well done by James. They're showing her experience, just having a word with her batter because the pressure is building here. Samara Ramnath has had 4 deliveries, and that's a terrific shot through the offside, through the gap there on that occasion. It'll run close to the boundary, tidied up by Haricharan. The throw comes back in. They'll come through for 2.
Good to see there as well. Not just one fielder chasing that delivery down, but both the mid-off Ram Tahal as well as Skasa trying to aid that chase there. And Brianna holding that one in and getting in. So good support in the outfield here. And a good shot from Phillip. And she puts one in the air to Ram Tahal. It certainly carried. And not to the pitch of the delivery there. Natalia Phillip pushing that one. A lot of bottom hand in that shot. And the chance grasped.
Well, a surprising turn of events here as we look back up at a replay of this catch. It was played in the air straight to the middle fielder, just on that occasion not able to gather it in. We thought that Phillip may have released the pressure a little bit with that good shot through the offside, but this time spooning it down to mid-off. A bit lucky on that occasion that she's still out there.
In the end of the over there. Chance coming for Captain Ramnath, and with these 2 on, the pressure is certainly mounting against the Winward Islands team.
So Harry Charan to continue here to Zeta James. It's a full delivery outside line of the off stump. It's a gorgeous shot by James. James, very classy. Cut behind point and it's going to run into the boundary for 4. So a much needed boundary here for Zeta James and the Winward Islands.
Yeah, Harry Lal giving chase there. Couldn't hold that one back in. That's the difficulty. You're bowling up against. Let me see Harry.
Well, she just about found that gap perfectly. It just passed what looks to be Samara Ramnath, the skipper there, in backward point and eluded the cover fielder as well. So perfect placement there from Zeta James. Harry Charan in again. And again, full outside line of the off stump is driven to that 3/4 fielder at the cover region. They'll come through for a single. So Zeta James opening up a little bit here, releasing some of this pressure that the Trinidad ladies have built.
So Harry Charan continuing. She want to drag this over back after conceding a boundary of the first delivery. It's a different prospect when you're bowling to the skipper Zeta James, but she's going to be bowling now to Philip. Down the leg side. Good take there from Tamika behind the stumps. Wide signal by umpire Willoughby. And the extras have certainly been adding up in these games. Want to try and keep it under control.
So a flighted delivery from Harry Charan. Just played down to the long on fielder. They'll come through for a single as Ram Tahal tidies up. Again, shuffling in the field as the left-hander comes on to strike.
So it's going to be interesting here. Zeta James back on strike. So the fielder on the onside, there's a deep square leg, a deep mid-wicket, as well as a long on. And pulled in the direction of that deep mid-wicket, just short of a Roscoe out there in the deep. Oh, yeah, just a mishap there with the throw going all wrong there. Going to allow them to come for the second run.
Well, Zeta James is looking to get aggressive now, but maybe ill-advised to go in that direction. There are 2 fielders there just waiting to gobble up any catch that's coming to them against the breeze as well, so it'll hang up in the air. She's been showing some prolific work through the offside, maybe encouraged to... Well, on that occasion, it would have been hard to find the offside, but in the air, maybe a little bit risky through the leg side as Harry Charan comes in again. And again in the air, a sweep shot. This one finds a gap, however. It'll take some tidying up. Good work in the deep there. Saves 3 runs for Trinidad.
.29 for 2 now. James with that pull shot. Sweep, come pull shot. Just kind of indecisive. The length wasn't there quite to sweep it. Got a top edge. Made it over the head of the backward square and down to the boundary. Just a single. There's Philip again. She's using a lot of that bottom hand. Trying to use her wrist to play those deliveries that are pitched up close to her. Spooned one up to Ram Tahal in the previous over. And again, this one coming off the inside edge. We look at it there. A lot of bottom hand in the shot. Trying to whip it on the onside. Coming off the inner portion of the bat there. And Brianna would have been licking her chops there. Almost thinking she penetrated the between bat and pad. But it goes out. 30 for 2 after 9. So it's going to be the last over before the drinks break. Windward Islands in their last game here at this facility. Got to 32 for 2. At the drinks break then, there was a game against Barbados. And they're very close to that now. With just 30 runs on the board after 2 overs. It's going to be a bowling change from the end of Troy, the umpire Troy Tudor.
So Manpaul will be coming in here to bowl her first over. Actually, the same fielder that did a bit of tidying up in the previous over on the boundary. So she will be looking to get into her work early days. We've seen Natalia Phillip beaten a couple times through bat and pad. So some footwork and a calm head required here up against Manpole. So ball outside the line of the off stump. A bit of a swing there from Phillip, not making contact.
The bowling change by some 2 overs from her. Bringing in the changes. Not much foot movement there from Phillip. Does get some bat onto that bottom edge of the bat. See Zeta James at the opposite end, just trying to shepherd her through this innings there. Speaking to her constantly about technique and trying to correct her. And this is the advantage of having such an experienced player batting with her. A good drive there this time, getting that left leg out. Pushes it out to Captain Samara at point. Zeta James there, wealth of experience at the senior level as well for her team. So she's been exposed to the coaching staff, not just at this level, but at the higher women's level in West Indies cricket, and trying to pass that knowledge down. And Phillip gets a full toss over the head of mid-wicket there. It's going to be Espinosa to pick it up, coming around from mid-on, gets the throw in. Phillip just 1 run there, but made some good contact there, Adam, getting it over the head of the mid-wicket fielder.
Have a little bit of straying in line and length there. She was bowling well outside the line of the off stump, giving Phillip some trouble there to get off strike. She gives her one away here now. Zeta James against Manpole's calm medium pace. She was looking to get a bit explosive in the previous over. However, 2 balls left before the drinks break. Maybe looking to just see it out. This one is down the leg side and a bit of a soft dismissal in the end, you would have to say, from Zeta James. Not a great delivery by Manpole. She was just trying to flick it backward of square and ended up finding that square leg fielder. Well, Zeta James was fighting it out there, scoring 17 off of 20 deliveries. She has to go on this occasion, however. Manpole will be ecstatic as we take a look back at this one. Yeah, just drifting down the leg side, maybe a little bit of extra bounce or movement. And as easy as you would have liked for Harry Lal there in backward square. So Trinidad will certainly be glad to see the back of Zeta James. Winwards would have remained hopeful as long as she's out there, but now they will require the other batsmen.
Yeah, it seems as though they're going to take the drinks break there with the fall of that wicket of Zeta James. Going for 17 of 21 deliveries. A wicket to Manpole there. And Captain Ramnath bringing in the change and causing the fall of that wicket there. So 3 wickets down now for 31 runs. The Winward Islands after 9.5 overs. Not where they would want to be, but an excellent start here for the Trinidad and Tobago team. As they take that drinks break there. 3 wickets down. I'll just give you, looking at the points table for the CWI Rising Stars Under 19 Women Championships. We are in the round 3. And Guyana playing 3 games, winning all 3 of their games. Their total point stands at 16.2 batting points for them, 4.2 batting points. They're having a net run rate of 1.5. And these bonus points here for these teams. For Leeward Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, having 2 wins, it's going to be the Leeward Islands that edges Trinidad and Tobago out because of that bonus points. Leeward Islands having 3 bonus points, and the Trinidad and Tobago team just 0.8 of a bonus point under the Leeward Islands team. Both teams on 8 points. But that is the difference between 2nd and 3rd place here. And in 4th place, the Windward Islands. 1 win, 1 loss, and that no result because of that rain-affected game against Barbados. Their bonus point stands at 0.4. So they are in 4th position with 6.4 total points. And Barbados, I said with that no result game, they stand at 2.6 points in 5th position. And Jamaica, no wins for them thus far in this tournament. And they would have been disappointed as well, being the previous champion. They're at the bottom of the table. So it's all to fight for here between teams Leeward Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, and Windward Islands at the middle of the table. They're trying to chase down the Guyana team. Guyana moving from strength to strength, really. They've had a high score in the tournament of 133 runs in a game there with Naomi Barkoi and Captain Liliana Grimmon contributing the most of that runs and putting him in a strong position. So we'll continue here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy as Manpole will finish off her over.
So
Swinging away. Was that a bit of an outside edge there? No, says the umpire. And an excellent over there. 1 wicket, 1 run. Kira Manpole bowling the 10th over before the drinks break, picking up the wicket and a much valued wicket of Zeta James going for 17 runs.
So the new batter in here will be Amaya Gilbert. She joins Natalia Phillip in the middle here. Some work to do, some rebuilding. The score is 31 for 3 after 10 overs. Certainly a lot more runs out there for the Windward ladies, but Trinidad bowlers have been doing really well. They've been doing their job to contain so far.
And it's going to be another bowling change here. Looks like Espinoza, is it? Or is it Harry Lal there? Is Espinoza. Number 15 on her back.
So pace on the ball again here for the Trinidad ladies.
She's only bowled 1 time previously in the series thus far. So she's going to pick up the action. Nice slingy bowling action. She comes in from the northern end, replacing Brianna Haricharan, the leg spinner. Medium pace bowling of Dilianis Espinoza coming from the Central Sports Club, Felicity. Short ball pulled into the onside. Orozco is there, no run. Plays for the Central Sports Reserve team. They were crowned champions in their division, in no small part to Dilianis Espinoza.
Espinoza in here again.
What a delivery there. Pitching just outside the off stump, down that corridor of uncertainty as internationally described by Jeffrey Boycott. Just holding that channel there and getting a little bit of a way swing from the right hand of Phillip. A peach of a delivery there. Through to wicketkeeper Tamika, and this one angling in this time. So showing all her wares here, Espinoza, all her experience being brought to bear. A good start here from her. Said she's from that Central Sports Club. Felicity of Venezuelan heritage. Discovered in a vacation camp at the Central Sports Club. And here she is playing for Trinidad and Tobago. This one pulled into the onside, over the head. And into the boundary at backward square. 2 fielders giving chase out there. Couldn't hold it back. Ruben is on that boundary there in the deep mid-wicket boundary. But couldn't get around to it. So 4 runs there for Phillip. A little bit of a shaky start, but showing her potential here. Able to put away a bad delivery. Just singing the praises of Espinoza and Natalia Phillip counteracting it. Putting one away for 4 runs. Signal dead ball by the umpire. Just gives me another opportunity to describe that shot there. And there we see it again from Phillip. Pulled over, high over, square leg. And into the boundary. Much welcome boundary, much needed boundary. Both players chasing and couldn't get it in, Harry Lal.
It's well defended on this occasion by Natalia Phillips. Shows some strength through the leg side. It'll bring us to the end of 11 overs. Score is 35 for now. 3 wickets down.
With the loss of the captain for the Windward Islands team, somebody is going to have to put their hand up here for the Windward Islands. It's a very critical game for them. 1 win and 1 loss and a no result. They certainly want to get another win notched in their belt here. And Phillip, she going to put her hand up. She's on 10 from 22. They certainly need to bat in some partnerships. A new partner, Amaya Gilbert, is quite capable with the bat. She's been at the top of the order for this Windward Islands team in previous games. And she's going to have to use her experience. She's been there for a couple years. Certainly has the experience and capability to get this Windward Islands firstly to that 50-run mark without losing a wicket. And then try to add on for the other 9 overs remaining in this innings thus far. Just saw the physio, Akram Hazel, in charge of the physio appointed to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. This one just swings away. It's escaping with a wide delivery there.
Well, there was a lot of movement from Manpole on that occasion. Understandable that the umpire would maybe give her a little bit of leeway. There was a good bit of movement off the seam and swing as well. So Manpole here is bowling well. She has figures of 1 for 1 into her second over. Gilbert on strike. This one, however, will be called out wide by the umpire. A good amount of movement on offer there from Manpole. If she manages to line it up, Gilbert may be in some trouble.
Yeah, it's still managing to get some prodigious swing, some away swing from the right-hander Gilbert. Conditions, sun is still out. Another wide delivery is appeal for caught behind and the umpire agrees. And that dreaded hand is raised. And Amaya Gilbert not too happy there. Didn't think that she got an under edge, but it was very close to the bat. And umpire Tudor agreeing with the Trinidad and Tobago team, and Manpole has her second wicket.
Well, we spoke about the movement that Manpole was getting off of the wicket. We'll take a look back at this here. It was too quick to see in real time.
Our producer there, Ronnie Bikram, that's slowing that one down for us to get a proper view of that one there. And it wasn't the bottom edge, seemed to be the top edge, a very faint edge indeed. There you see Tamika Pago not really appealing, but Manpole was very sure, as well as the rest of the Trinidad and Tobago team. They all went up bar the wicketkeeper. And you see umpire Willoughby there just having a word with Gilbert as she trots dejectedly back. And the coach there as well, Clayton there, just consoling her there, having a word with her there. She was bitterly disappointed, Coach Clayton Burnett there. Just her arm around her, consoling her with that dismissal there. Of course, all umpires' decisions are final, and that is one of the things that we see featured in this development tournament here for Cricket West Indies. These players at a young age being taught the right things to do there and have to agree with the umpire's decision. And well to see, good job there from the coach and the umpires there, just getting that message through to the players. The new batter is in. A lot happening in that delivery there.
Well, you can understand the frustration and the emotion. It's such a big game for the Windward. She'll be bitterly disappointed that she's not outside there with Natalia Phillip to continue her work. Every wicket is so important. She trudges back, and this will bring Crease to the crease. Facing a ball already, a dot ball. So 2 for 2 now for Manpole. This one sliding down the leg side. Signaled wide by the umpire. She'll have to re-bowl that one. But it's a good start here from the bowler, Manpole. Inside 2 overs already picking up a couple wickets for her team. Score is now 37 for 4 down.
And the Winward Islands will have to do another rebuilding job here. Phillip is there at the other end on 10. She was intent to get a good score for her team. We see Manpole there getting that ball to swing away. She's starting it a bit wide outside the off stump and is drifting across, having the batter stretch across and reaching for it. There's no Zeta James at the opposite end to try and shepherd the batters through this difficult spell they're having to face here from Manpole. But she is executing some excellent away swing deliveries. There she is again. And this one steps across there, crease, pulls it into the onside. There's a deep mid wicket. Gets in there and does the feeling throw into the bowler's end. And off the mark there for Crease. Daniela Crease, remember, she started this tournament opening the baton for the Winward Islands team. She's been asked to do wicket-keeping duties. And now she's dropped down the order here to number 6 in the batting order. Top scoring in the last game, getting to 20 runs for the Winward Islands. So she's well capable with the bat. She's opened previously and now top scoring. And we can see Manpole there. Such is the exaggerated movement from her. She's finding some difficulty in controlling the amount of swing she is getting, which is why in the previous delivery she started it close on middle and leg stump. But anytime she targets that off stump line, she's getting prodigious movement. And I tell you what, Tamika Pago behind the stumps there is doing well to follow that ball through into her gloves. There again, they're taking a low one. This time called wide by umpire Tudor. So 2 wide so far for Manpole in this over. 4, in fact, in this over. Just struggling a bit. And, of course, there's the captain, Samara Ramna, running down to her, giving her a little bit of advice, telling her maybe slow it down or hold one cross seam to negate the swing and just get through this over. She already has 2 wickets for 6 runs.
This one is straight on the wicket. It's fielded at the square leg for no run.
The end of the over after 12 overs completed. One thing we haven't mentioned so far, and they're very much in attendance, or we're going to look at that replay here, zoomed in for us there by our producer, Mr. Ronnie Bikramdas. And here we have a good look at this here. Ultra slow motion. Yes, there you can definitely see that edge. And of course, umpire Willoughby, excellent decision by him. Gilbert there couldn't believe it when he raised his hand. But definitely we can see from the excellent work from our producer Ronnie Bikramdas, they're slowing that down, ultra slow motion for us to confirm that outside edge low down on the bottom of the bat. I'm sure the players from the Winward Islands team, or Maya Gilbert herself, having a look at that expert replay there, will confirm to her that she did in fact get that outside edge, and a good take by wicketkeeper Tamika behind the stump. She's had a lot of work to do, but the ball getting so much movement out there. Meanwhile, it's Diliana Espinosa to continue from the northern end.
So full delivery fended off by the batter crease on that occasion. She also, Espinosa, getting a good bit of movement. Score is 40 for 4 down after 12.2 overs. So the Winward Islands will need to get some runs on the board, maybe a little bit of attacking intent. We've seen a good amount of dot deliveries in the innings so far. Espinosa is in and again fended off by crease, getting front foot forward nice and low, keeping her head over the ball.
Yeah, excellent shot there from crease. You could see her intent in that shot there to get everything behind that line of that delivery and meet it with a full face of the bat. Espinosa 3 dot balls in the over so far. 40 for 4, the Winward Islands. This one down the leg side. She shuffles across the batter. She's trying to get some bat onto it. There is no fine leg. She knew if she got something onto that, might have been in for some runs there. 60-yard boundary on the onside. Just the opportunity to add some runs onto this total. Try to get it up to 50 and build from there.
Crease again, facing up to Espinosa. There's another full delivery outside the line of the off-stump. Crease on this occasion was not able to get behind that ball. There was a stifle appeal. A few Trinidad fielders looked interested as we see Phillip here going up, taking after her captain, going to have a little word with Daniela Crease. As we take a replay of this one here. Yep, Windwards know that they cannot afford to lose any simple wickets again. This ball, a bit of movement away, a big gap between the batter and the ball on that occasion. As this is swiped by Daniela Crease and it's taken in the extra cover position. Well, just as we said, Phillip went down to have a word with her batter. Unfortunately, on this occasion, however, for Crease, it's skied up to that extra cover position. We're just waiting on word as to who took the catch.
Looks to be the captain, Samara. We'll confirm that here now with this replay. Espinosa gets her first wicket, that's for sure.
No, it's Harry Charan
taking the catch.
actually taking the catch on this occasion. So a good catch to be completed there. The 5th wicket for the Winwards now falls. Espinosa picks up her first of the innings.
Yeah, and reward there for Espinosa for holding a tight line outside your stump and for bowling dot balls as well. As we know in this game of cricket, dot balls brings wickets. You hear that a lot in test match cricket. If you can't get the batters out, you bowl maiden dot balls, maiden overs, and the wicket will come. And that is exactly what happened here. It's certainly not a test match cricket. We're in a T20 encounter here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And another wicket has fallen here. We've seen some low totals in these games here.
Well, the bowlers would have to be commended for that, you would feel. And in almost every game we have seen so far, the pacers have kept a good line and length, troubling batters and spinners as well, getting a good bit of movement off of the wicket. Pacers getting that swing because of these overcast conditions. So the bowlers would definitely have to take the compliments on that. As we see the new batter coming out here, Alexander, to join Phillip. Phillip has been there for a while, actually. She still should be hoping to get a good score for her team, as we see Espinosa here to finish her over. She will not finish her over, rather, as it is a wide delivery outside the line of the leg stump. This one will have to be re-bowled. So figures of 6 for 1 wicket off of her 1.5 overs. Espinosa here. Alexander will be looking to just defend this delivery, most likely to get Philip back, to keep Philip on strike on the other end. This one again is called a wide delivery by the umpire. She will re-bowl this. So Alexander yet to get batter on ball. She's faced 2 wide deliveries so far. We've had 9 wides in the over so far. Yeah, that's a close one. But again, touch and go by the umpire there. 50-50 maybe. This one is a straighter ball though. It'll be defended by Alexander, fielded by the bowler for no run.
It might have started on the line but finished outside of the line, says umpire Willoughby. But he's been very much on the ball there with an excellent decision in the dismissal of Amaya Gilbert. Very fine edge. And calling a couple deliveries there. So it's 10 extras in the inning so far after 13 overs. And that is 10 extras in a total of 43 runs. So a lot of work still yet to do for the Winward Islands team. Firstly, they must get to that 50-run mark. They do have time on their side. There are 7 wickets in hand. And Alexander is going to be to face up. It's going to be Manpole again with her outswingers. Well, she just pulled away there. Yeah, it seems as though Alexander just pulled away there and wasn't ready. The umpire not quite interpreting the movement of Alexander that she didn't want, or she wasn't ready to face. A dead ball was not called. Manpole just inquiring to the umpire. So we'll have to keep a track on this over. Does that delivery count as a ball? And again, a way swing there. What would be interesting is if that ball hit the stumps. So I guess we're very fortunate in that situation that Manpole is getting the ball to swing so much that it swung away from the stumps. So we didn't have that decision to make. A little bit of a, could have gone into a bit of controversy. So we'll keep a track of it there.
So again, outside the line of the off stump, swinging away, not a wide signal by the umpires. 3 dot balls to start.
Yeah, seemed that delivery did count. 3 deliveries in the over. It's excellent bowling here from Manpole. She's gotten it closer to that middle and off to start those outswingers and getting it to swing away. She's causing quite a debate here by the fans out there as to whether these calls are wides or not. Of course, the debate here in the commentary box as well. Pitched up this time. Gets a lot of bat on it there, Alexander. Quick single. She's trying to get there to the non-strikers end. Throw comes in there. Looks like Harry Charan there. Getting the throw in to the non-strikers end, and they complete the single. Manpole couldn't hold it in. It was a powerful throw there. Ruben there it is at middle.
Well, a direct hit would have been interesting. It seems as though the batter would have made it eventually in the end. Good piece of work from Ramtahal there out in the middle of fielding position. This is a bit of a swipe by the batter. Alexander does not make contact, so that'll bring us to the end of 14 overs. I guess we would have to assume that that first delivery was a legal delivery. No dead ball signaled by the umpire. So the score will move on to 44 for 5 down here.
Yeah, Alexander there just clearing the front leg. Trying to make room to pull that one powerfully into the offside. But again, with that away swing from Manpole, it was a difficult ask for her to try and make contact there. She better well served trying to go through the offside with that ball going across her. It's going to be Espinosa to continue. Espinosa 2 overs so far, 2 for 7. Just making reference there. The spectators out there at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. A good looking shot there. Cover drive. Nice pull, pitched up delivery. Yeah, we are graced with some royalty here, spectators. Some national players in, young national players. As you would expect, Rajiv Ramnath is there in the crowd. sister captain of the Trinidad and Tobago women's under-19 team. Rajiv Ramnath, of course, captain of a Trinidad and Tobago team as well, the under-19 player. Of course, his compatriot Justin Manick is there in the crowd as well. He's played for Trinidad and Tobago. All from the Marchin area. Playing for different clubs this season. Ramnath with the Marchin club. Manick was with Power Gen at one time. Of course, both players, of course, played with my fellow commentator here, Adam Furlong.
Well, yep, we've seen Rajiv and Justin Manick out here supporting Samara. Very much a family affair. They've been out at every game cheering on the Trinidad and Tobago women. Very, very good to see. We know Samara is out there. We've seen Rajiv play in numerous cricket tournaments, whether it be zone, whether it be national, whether it be for school. And we always see Justin Manick and Anil Pittiram, as well as other members of the family, in close attendance, always supporting. Very, very good to see. So as we see Espinosa, there have been 4 dot deliveries out of this over so far. Something looked at though as though it would have to give. That one is an inside edge there onto the pad. So another dot ball, maybe a little lucky to escape that inside edge back onto pad, back onto stump.
Yeah, looking at here again, angled in, loopy delivery, dipping inside edge, clearing the front leg there, but no contact with the stumps. Inside edge, luckily, because it was heading towards the stump. Espinosa will complete her over. No, she won't. Just making sure, keeping the commentators honest. She's bowled 5 deliveries. 1 to come. 1 legal delivery, that is. Just pulling out of it there. Just pulling out to Philip, who's shown she wants to clear that front leg and get some bat onto ball. Oh, this is when she's guiding down to third.
That's really well played there. They'll come through for a quick single completed in the end, tidied up by, looks as though it may be Jessica Orozco there, out there in the deep at third. So the score is now 45 for 5 wickets down, 10 extras bowled in these 15 overs here. Natalia Phillip has been out there a while. She's on 12 from 34. Maybe she and Alexander could look to accelerate a bit. Alexander just having gotten out there, but overs running out for the Windwards.
I'll just run through the scorecard quickly here before the start of this. Another man Paul over. Cyan Felix was first to go. Caught and bowled by Casa for 5 runs. Then Jada Tyrell went for no score first delivery. Casa was on a hat trick then. She has to come back. She'll be bowling her first delivery as a hat trick delivery. This one scooped into the offside. There's a single out there as there's a sweeper on the boundary. Ruben out there, left-hander out, not all the way out to the boundary. She's just about 3/4 away. Looks like to be about 45 yards, 50 yards out in the deep on the cover. It's an anticipation of an aggression through the covers from Alexander and Philip. Clearing that front leg there is Alexander. But she'd be advised there, try to go through the offside because that ball is moving away from her. She holds her paws out in the middle there as if she's bemused as to why she cannot make contact. Coach Burnett should tell her, get that left leg outside the off stump. Lead with that elbow and look to go through the covers. So on pitch, she's clearing that front leg again, pulls it into the onside. She takes off for a single but is sent back by Philip.
Well, if there was any question about the intent that would be shown by Alexander in this over, clearing that front leg, looking to absolutely demolish any deliveries on that stump line. Anything that she would connect with will most likely result in a boundary, as there is no protection straight back there, but she will have to clear the feelers. On this occasion, again, throws the entire kitchen sink at it. It peels off the outside edge and is tidied up in the 3rd position. So Alexander here looking to put her foot on the X. Yet to come off the mark. 5 deliveries faced. So Manpol is in here again. And again, it's smart bowling, keeping the ball outside line of the off stump. She knows that if she drifts down the leg side, Alexander is just waiting to crush that ball through the leg side. So Manpol will finish off her spell here. She's already taken 2 wickets, going for 8 runs. So it's a bit straighter. On this occasion is defended nicely by Alexander. So That will bring us to the end of the 16th over. The score is 46 for 5. Manpole having a good spell there. 2 wickets for 8 runs.
I'll just continue with the scorecard there. Amaya Gilbert was next to go. She was the first wicket picked up by Manpole there. Her spell of 2 for 8. Gilbert went without scoring. Very interesting decision given by the umpire there on replay, ultra slow-mo. Of course, revealing that the umpire was 100% correct. And that was the first wicket for Gilbert. Zeta James then followed. She went for 17 of 21, the mainstay of the Windward Islands innings. Then Danelle Crease came out and she fell for 1 to the bowling of Espinoza. And it's Nisha Alexander and Natalia Phillip out there. Phillip on 13 is 46 for 5. It's a bowling change now. You can see Zakira Harilal into the attack, replacing Espinoza. Espinoza, the 3 overs, 1 for 8. She had an excellent spell, 5 dot balls in the previous over. Manpole finishing her spell of 4 overs, 2 for 8. So down the leg side by Zakaria, and it's going to go for 4.
Yep, that's
Natalia Phillip, getting one there and getting some bat on it. Powerfully smashed through the leg side for 4.
Yeah, terrific shot. You can't bowl there, especially to someone who has been in the wicket for a good while now. Trinidad and Tobago women trying something different. Not working out on this occasion, however. There is no fielders backward of square on the boundary. So anything down that line is easy runs. The score now moves to 50. 50 brought up by the Windwards with that shot there by Phillip.
Yeah, so Harilal just relieving some tension there. Her first delivery, trying to get her line and lengths right. Put away for 4. This one much better delivery there and getting that ball to dance in the air there. Harilal through to Phillip there, getting some contact with it, coming up high off the bat. Could only get it to mid-wicket there and there's no run. Not a good delivery here, pitched up on the off stump, the line of the off stump.
Well, it's going to be an interesting battle here between Phillip and Harry Lal. Phillip has been in for 38 deliveries now, and Harry Lal, the ball swinging back into the batter. We know that Phillip has shown how powerful she can be through the leg side. So maybe advice, keep the ball outside the line of the off stump. This occasion, she will need to re-bowl that. Is a wide down the leg side. And again, a dangerous delivery. Had it had been any closer to Phillip, we might have seen another boundary. Because, as we've said, there is a fielder at deep mid-wicket and a fielder inside the circle at backward square. But once those 2 fielders are beaten, the ball will race away to the boundary. This one, again, swinging back in. Just played out to short mid-wicket for no run.
A lot of cheering going out. Support coming to the Windward Island batters from the dugout there. Coach Clayton and company. Miss Ito, the manager of the team. This one hoists into the air over extra cover. He's going to beat the fielder there in close. They're going to get a single with signs of aggression there. Good intent there. Getting it over the infield there.
Well, we saw the batter Phillip eyeing down the leg side. Both batters will know that there is an opportunity for runs, but keeping it outside the line of the off stump here is Harry Lal. It's really good bowling. It's swiped away to short mid-wicket. Will be no run.
Well, we've seen a shutter ball here from Nisha Alexander as the over comes to an end. She's still yet to get off the mark, but showing a lot of positive intent. It's been Phillip is the one who's been getting the ball away from the fielders. But both batters there showing positive intent to try to get this score. They've gotten to 50 with 5 wickets down. Just 3 overs to go. And it's going to be all hands on deck for the remainder of this innings here for the Windward Islands. Just 3 overs to go. What type of total do you anticipate here, Adam?
Well, it'll be hard to say. We know that wickets have been falling quickly, but we've also seen a few quick boundaries as well as
Come
some
on,
one
Adam.
and
You
twos.
can't bail out here. Give us a total, Adam.
Okay, I would say 3 overs left. 5 wickets down, maybe anywhere around 70 runs. I think would also be defendable for the Winward ladies because the bowling attack has been pretty good. We know that Trinidad have some good batters as well, but I think that anywhere around 70, 75, if 20, 25 runs are possible in the last 3 overs without losing too many wickets, it'll be hard here against Samara Ramnath. She's been bowling well. So they will need to capitalize on any bad deliveries, but not likely to see any bad deliveries from Ramnath. She's been absolutely on fire. Here to face up Philip. It's a flighted delivery, and it's played in the air, dropped short of the middle fielder. A bit of a misfield, and a second maybe on the cards for the Windward ladies. Not pounced upon on this occasion. It was a good comeback from Ram Tahal there.
And immediately there's a fielding change there by Captain Samara. She's just swapping out that middle fielder.
Well, Alexander here back on strike. Samara Ramnath bowling off spin. The ball will be turning back into her. It's outside the line of the off stump. Again, aggressive intent shown. That front leg well outside the line of the leg stump, but she looks to just muscle that through the mid-wicket gap area. It's gonna be a dot ball.
I tell you what, Adam, the mid-off fielder went to mid-wicket exactly where Alexander is aiming. So it pushed back along the wicket to Ramnath, and it might have been a case of the ball falling Ram Tahal there. She was moved from mid-off to that mid-wicket area. I think it's Hari Charan there. She was replaced with a couple chances spooning up to that mid-off position. Pulled, and it's pulled, and guess who's going to field it? It goes to mid-wicket here. There's Ram Tahal diving down on the ball. They get through for a single, but she certainly prevents the second run. Moving there to her right, just showing her captain she's quite capable in the outfield there. Good on you there, Amrita Ram Tahal. She's putting in the effort, putting her body on the line there, stopping too.
Oh, and this is a leggy here from Samara Ramnath. Oh, and what a delivery. What guile from the skipper, Samara Ramnath. She's been bowling those offies. We see she's thrown in a leggy outside the line of the off stump, a bit shorter, and a cut shot there from Philip. And all it does is just find the hands of the backward point fielder. And another wicket down here. Really clever bowling from Samara Ramnath as we take a look at it again here. A shorter delivery was just a top edge into the air, and we've seen Kassar take a catch early off of her own bowling, and she's definitely not going to drop that one.
Well, it's 6 for 54 in the 18th over. Are they going to get to that 70-run total there? Samara Ramnath, we've seen her do it in the past. She's going to bowl a quicker delivery every so often, and that one speared it in, got some extra bounce, pulling down hard on the seam, perhaps just pulling away on a sort of a leg break delivery there, but seam up and pulling that seam down to get that extra bounce off that top edge there. And it's Natalia Phillips. She's made 19 from 41 runs, and she was providing some impetus into this innings, got them to 50. But she is gone now, and that total of 70 is even going to be that much more difficult. 2 overs and 1 ball left to come. Samara Ramnath 1 for 5 thus far. That's the end of her 3 overs. 1 for 5 in 3 overs from Samara Ramnath. She's had 3 dot deliveries there. It's 20 dot. I beg your pardon. 20 dot deliveries there from Manpole in her spell. The only bowler to complete thus far. She has 2 for 8. So that's 6 wicket falling for 54 runs. Kassar taking that catch. And of course, with her taking that catch, she is going to come back into the attack to bowl her final over. She has 2 for 7 in her 3 overs thus far. And one peeling off the outside edge of Philip, and Kassar taking a good catch. Back here live now. Outside edge there off the bat. Goes down. A good tumbling save down there from third coming around. They're going to come for 2. 2 quick runs there, Alexander. Played down. Looks like Orozco out there in the deep. At third, running around smartly. Putting her body on the line there. Calling that one in. Preventing a boundary. Gets the throw back in.
Yep, great work by Orozco there on the boundary. It was a sharp chance. The keeper seemed interested for a second, but it was flying over her head by the time she got her hand up. Kassar getting some good pace on this wicket. Oh, and what a delivery. That one is coming back into the batter, Alexander. On that occasion, we've seen her open up a few times. This time she opens up and straight through her defenses. We can see that off peg rocked back. So Kassar, this will be her 3rd wicket. She's gone for 9 runs. It's her final over, and interesting to note, she was on a hat-trick at the start of this over. The first delivery went for a couple. If she had managed to clean bowl Alexander on that occasion, she would have taken a hat-trick, the first hat-trick we would have seen here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. We take a look at it again. So Kassar has been doing really good work here for the Trinidad and Tobago women under 19. We see that ball this late on in the innings, we're getting a little bit of movement in the air, and then we see the kick off of the seam, absolutely beating Alexander. All ends up a terrific delivery.
You could see her putting that effort in there, angling that arm into the stumps there, starting outside the off stump, short of a length there. She's had an excellent spell in this game so far. Destiny Edwards makes it out to the middle. The opening bowler for the Winward Islands team. She would want to try and get through these final deliveries there. There are 10 legal deliveries to come. And Kanika Kassar, ball in hand. This time just fractionally wide outside the off stump. Cut away.
Well done there by Edward on that occasion. She'll get off the mark immediately. Just played backward of point there to Samara Ramnath.
It's going to bring Selena Ross, the left-hander, on strike. The left-arm opening bowler for the Winward Islands team. Very accomplished seam bowler. She's going to have a job here to do with the bat. Try to get her team close to that 70-run mark that Adam Furlong predicted. They were dismissed for 74 for 9 against the Barbados team. They were in some difficulty again there. And these scores in this match, very much comparative with that score in that game. There's no rain here to interrupt this game, however. Should get a full game here. And Kassar is going to try and finish her spell. She has 3 deliveries to come, 3 for 10 thus far. Pitched up outside the off stump. Gets past the outside edge of Selena Ross.
Terrific bowling from Kassar here. We're seeing really good pace, really good movement, making it incredibly difficult for the Windwards. But Selena Ross will be having a look at this. We know that she's the opening bowler for the Windwards, so she will be interested in the amount of movement that Kassar is definitely getting off of the wicket and through the air here. She's in again.
Oh, good shot there from Ross. Gets across and pulls this one into the onside. They're going to come for 2. Is it a Roscoe out there in the deep, tumbling down again, down on her knees and still getting the throwing, preventing a third run. But a good-looking shot there. Excellent feeling from Roscoe in the deep, and good cricket all around here from these women here down at the Brian Lara Cricket Centre.
Well, we haven't seen her on the ball today, or Roscoe, with those flighted leg spin deliveries, but she's certainly making her presence felt on the field. Rather, 2 terrific stops down there at the fine leg position.
Yeah, she's been very much in the game down out in the deep there. And what we've seen from the Trinidad and Tobago team, they have never used 5 persons in the outfield for this entire game. There are still only 3 in the penultimate over. Badly lined down the leg side, this time short. And Ross just not getting any bat onto that. She would have tested Roscoe out in the deep had she gotten any bat on that. But it is going to be a wide, and 60 runs now on the board.
Well, much needed runs here for the Windwards. Some extras given away by Kassar. We've spoken about how good the bowling has been, but extras maybe a little bit too over the top. The number of wickets that have been taken, however, shows really good. On the end of the bowlers, this one is outside the line of the off stump. A bit wide there, but legal delivery eventually determined by the umpire. This will bring us to the end of the 19th over. The score is 60 for 7. Kassar finishing there with figures of 3 for 13 off of her 4 overs. Incredible bowling.
And it's going to be the captain Ramnath to finish her spell. She's going to bowl the last over of the innings, of the Windward innings. She has 1 for 5 off of her 3 overs. So Kassar finishing with 3 for 13 in her spell of 4. Was on a hat trick at one point in time. Amita Rampahal, her 2 overs cost 7 runs. Didn't pick up a wicket today. And Brianna Haricharan, her 2 overs, 13 runs, the leg spinner. But it was Kira Manpol, 2 for 8 off of 4 overs, that really got into that middle order of the Winward Islands team and put them on the back foot. Espinosa wasn't backward either. She picked up 1 for 8. And Ramnath comes in and immediately makes an impact. The Trinidad and Tobago captain. Off comes the bails on the off stump. And the wicket falls there. And not good news here for the Winward Islands team. Destiny Edward, she's lost her wicket. She goes. And the score now 8 wickets down for 60 runs. Edwards falling for 1 run. And we look at it here again. And bang on target from Samara Adam.
Yep, we always expect clutch performances from her, whether it be batting or bowling here. She takes a wicket off of the first delivery of the final over of the game, definitely putting some pressure on the new batter coming in, Francois. Some runs needed here, only 5 deliveries left. So Francois will have her work cut out for her here, facing Samara Ramnath, who has been absolutely on fire this tournament. She now has 2 wickets in this game, going for just 5 runs off of her 3 overs. Very economical stuff. She'll have 5 balls.
Alicia Francois coming in there. She's not gotten off to a good start in this series with the bat. Comes in at number 9. And they certainly want to get as much runs as possible. Yeah, even in this final over, we've not seen it for the entire innings. Only one person out on the boundary for this final over, and another one 3/4 away. It's about 50 yards on the mid-wicket area. Samara holds her line outside the off-stump. She's bowling with 4 on the offside and maintains that off-stump line. Getting that ball to turn in, anticipating they're going to tug it into the onside. There is a long on, and that deepish mid-wicket.
And there we see another leg. It beats the batter outside the line of the off stump. It's terrific, very smart bowling from Samara Ramnath here, mixing it up. Maybe something she'd learnt from her brother Rajiv Ramnath. We saw him try a number of different bowling styles, each as effective. But Samara Ramnath here mixing some leggies in with the offies. We see another off spinner. This one just colliding with the batter on that occasion. It will be a precious dot ball for Samara Ramnath. She's taken 1 wicket and has had 3 dot balls off of the over so far. It's a really, really smart final over by Samara Ramnath. That's a good delivery. There is an appeal, and the umpire's finger will go up. She's actually bowled her, it seems, or maybe a stumping eventually. Not sure why the presiding umpire would have, or maybe a quad behind. We would have to assume that is why the presiding umpire tricking us all ends up here as well. Samara Ramnath, not too sure what is going on, but that'll be another wicket, the second one off of this over, and 3 dot balls as well. What a final over this is turning into here.
Well, I tell you what, wicketkeeper Tobago, she was not going to take any chances. She took the catch, effected a stumping as well, and appealed for both. Whatever the umpire wants to give, it's up to you, she says to umpire Tudor. As we look at it here again, a step outside the crease. She was out of a crease, stepped back, got into the gloves of Tamika, took the bails off as well. But I think the umpire Tudor would have given that out, caught behind. Either way, it's a wicket to Samara Ramnath, and an excellent spell from her so far, especially this final over, picking up another wicket for her. And such is the guile of her, bowling the final over of the innings, the Trinidad and Tobago captain. And she would have had big shoes to fill here, taking over the captaincy of this Trinidad and Tobago team, losing 5 of their main players and Captain Shalini Samaru previously, and so on the Jenna Joseph previously last year. And she's taken over the captaincy here, and she's shown all her ability skippering this Trinidad and Tobago team. And that's the end of the innings here. Samara Ramnath's going to finish. I tell you what, is that a double wicket maiden for her, as the total now all out, I beg your pardon, at the end of the 20th over, it's 60 runs for 9 wickets. The Winward Islands team not quite where they want to be, batting first here on this track. See the umpire there just having a word with the Trinidad and Tobago players, probably just discussing if they're going to have a roll on that wicket, what type of roller that they do want. But it's going to be 61 runs for Trinidad and Tobago to chase down for victory, to give them their 3rd victory. And I tell you what, Zeta James and company, they are not going to make it easy for them to get that 60 runs. Very accomplished bowling and fielding team here. Selena Ross in that lineup. Zeta James going to put as much pressure as they can on the Trinidad and Tobago outfit. And it's going to be Sadia Seaman, that last wicket there. She remains not out. Francois, no score. Then Destiny Edwards falling for 1 wicket of that last, 1 run rather, off that last delivery in the innings. A top score in the innings from Natalia Phillips. She was very positive, scoring 19 off of 42 deliveries when wickets were falling all around her. Zeta James, of course, you expect to be up there with the leading run scorer in the innings. She made 17 out of 21 deliveries. But it was Manpole who got her wicket. And that very valuable wicket. And I'll run through the bowling card. Kanika Kassar, 4 overs, 3 for 13. Really started the slide. Amrita Ramtahal, 2 overs, cost 7 runs. Samara Ramnath bowling the final over, picking up 3 wickets for 5 runs in her 4 overs. Brianna Haricharan, 2 overs, 13 runs for her, and she was tight as well at certain points in the game. Kira Manpol, 2 for 8 offer for 4 overs. And we saw the bowling today in this game. Delianis Espinoza, she got her 3 overs in this time. 1 for 8 from her. Excellent deliveries for her. A lot of dot balls in for her as well. And Zakia Harilal, she got 1 over, cost her 6 runs. Her first delivery going for a boundary. So the Trinidad and Tobago team, 61 runs for victory. This is the interval. The roller is out there in the middle. The players will have their innings break. Some of them already out there warming up with Coach Clayton. And we'll take a break here in the com box and we'll be back with you as the action resumes after the break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing battle here, the Trinidad and Tobago team versus the Winward Islands team. Winward Islands under 19 team posting 60 runs in their 20 overs for the loss of 9 wickets. It's going to be Captain Zeta James. She's going to open the bowling against Samara Ramnath, facing up for the Trinidad and Tobago team.
It's going to be skipper against skipper here. Early doors, James against Samara Ramnath. Samara Ramnath, who had a good display with the ball earlier. We saw that Zeta James will be hoping to do the same, but Ramnath is as solid as they come. This one fended off to backward point.
There we see one of the changes there for the Winward Islands team. Danielle Crease has the gloves, taking over from Kayla George, who kept wicket in the first couple games. Right outside the off stump, pushed through the gap, timed exquisitely there by Samara Ramnath. Is going to make its way into the boundary, wide and short outside the off stump. She didn't look to hit it with too much power, but looked for that placement and got that timing right. So much so it raced across the outfield of the Brian Lara Cricket Academy here. And 4 runs, Trinidad and Tobago starts their innings off.
Yep, terrific timing, as you said. We've seen a couple cover drives through that cover region, but this one just flew across the carpet. And this is a quicker delivery here. A good comeback from James on the wicket. It's just driven down to the mid-on fielder for no run.
Yeah, it's going to be a real contest here between James and Ramnath here. Captain versus captain. 2 seasoned players at this level. Oh, just beating the outside edge. Did it catch the top of the handle or the glove? Seems so. The reaction from Zeta James indicating that that was a chance. Crease there. Such a deflection is very difficult for the wicket keepers.
Well, that would have been
anything on.
That would have been a huge wicket there. You can see the emotion on the faces of the Windward ladies. Yeah, seems as though maybe a bit of glove. We saw the bottom hand leave the bat. That usually indicates that there was maybe a little bit of touch. Samara Ramnath getting a bit lucky on this occasion. The Windwards will rue that. It's a good delivery here again by James, just on the wicket. No width after that boundary that we saw early on. There was no width offered by Zeta James throughout the rest of the over. She finishes off with dots. The score is 4 without loss after the first over.
Yeah, very challenging over there from Zeta James to the captain Ramnath. Just one loose delivery that Ramnath punched through the gap for 4. And that delivery there from James, pitching and bouncing. We've seen a lot of bounce on this wicket here, as well as a lot of seam movement with the new ball. In fact, all through the Trinidad and Tobago bowling innings, that ball kept moving around. And I said we're playing on that 3rd strip from the east. The strip that the ICC Men's World Cup was used. And we can see that this wicket here is giving a little more bounce and movement with that new ball. And that ball just taking the top part of the bat and some gloves as well. Actually kicking up, catching the shoulder of the Danielle Crease there behind the wicket. And off the shoulder into the helmet. A very difficult chance for her to take. Not even sure you can call that a chance. But it just goes to show you're going to have to put your head down to try and get these 61 runs. See, it was difficult enough for the Winward Islands to get to 60, and so far we can see the ball doing that as well. Full delivery there.
No
ball signal by the umpires. They are certainly over the height of the waist there. And Ruben there on strike, just pulling it away. There is a deep backward square and a long leg, so they do get the single, but it's going to be a free hit here. Selena Ross, not the start she wanted there with her left arm over the wicket.
Well, I think that this is an important delivery for Samara Ramnath here. Her first delivery that she'll be facing Selena Ross. She'll have a free hit, so maybe she can just put a little bit of pressure here on the opening fast bowler.
You're just taking guard there now. Ramnath. Left arm over the wicket. She's going to get that ball to tail into the right-hander. She's up and in again. There you can see that swing there and angle down the leg side. Starting really on leg stump and moving further away. Crease didn't move a muscle there. No chance of her getting to that. And it goes, the free hit. It's going to go for 4 wides. So a very expensive start here. You can see that ball starting on outside the leg stump, in fact, heading further down the leg side, and very disappointed Captain James at first slip there. Very low total trying to defend, and you don't want to give away these kinds of runs.
Certainly, the only positive we can see there for Ross is that she is getting a little bit of movement back in. So if she's able to place the ball outside the line of the off stump, as a little bit straight on that occasion, but it's a better comeback. It's just played out to the deep square leg fielder. They will come through for a single. So Ruben back on strike here. Selena Ross has gone for eight runs off of that one legal delivery. She would definitely be looking for a comeback. As you said, not a lot of runs on the board to defend. They cannot afford this at all.
Yeah, and that's a difficulty with left-arm bowlers that bring the ball back into the right-hander. And there's a much better line delivery. And that's where she needs to start that delivery. I was about to call a name from the past, Pedro Collins. He was one that tried to start it on an off-stump line or sometimes just outside the off-stump, depending on how much movement is out there. And you can see that one starting outside the off-stump, the back leg across there from Ruben trying to get in line, and it just tails back into her. Luckily, she was outside the off-stump when it struck her pad.
So it's a bit straighter from Ross. Goes through the keeper crease on this occasion. Will be tidied up at fine leg.
And that's the additional problem the wicket keeper will have, because if you're going to start that ball outside the off-stump, the keeper has to stand really where a first slip would be for that left arm over the wicket so she can see the bowler in her run-up. And when that ball goes down the leg side, it's just that much more difficult to get across.
This is a better delivery outside line of the off stump. That's where she needs to be with her line and linkage. Just defended back to the bowler by Samara Ramnath.
And that's the quality of Ramnath there. Not going too far across. Just waiting for it to come back into her, anticipating the line and the swinging ball. And just plays with the swing, goes back along the pitch. She'll have to use all of her experience here to counter this bowling.
Oh, and there is an appeal from the bowler.
That was very close, Adam, because it tailed back in. She's definitely standing in line with the stump, so she's had to have gotten an inside edge onto pad there. Half shout from the bowler.
Good movement again by Ross. It's been a good comeback. Yep, that looks pretty dead on, so we would have to say that there was maybe a little bit of a fine tickle off of the inside edge for Ramnath. Ross is in here again. It's another good delivery. Yep, it's been a really good comeback since those first few extras early on in the over. This will complete the second over of the game here. It'll be 13 without loss.
So a good comeback there from Ross after that first wide and then a no ball. In fact, a no ball came first and then a wide down the leg side for 5 wides. A free hit. And another free hit with the wide. And then she was able to adjust her line, started outside the off stump. Firstly to Ruben, struck her on that back leg as it tailed back in. Ruben didn't anticipate that much swing, and frankly, neither did we. But I tell you what, whoever picked the balls out for both ladies, the match referee, Stephanie Power, with the box of balls, umpire Himraj Das, and Samara Ramnath picking a white ball, and Zeta James another white ball, and those two balls have been moving around here on this surface here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. So it's made for very difficult batting. The batters have had to keep their eyes on every single delivery up until the last moment. Such is the movement out there.
Well, Zeta James here has a really interesting field set. We can see there are 2 fielders catching there on the square. It's something we have seen at the higher levels, looking for a drive shot. Now she sends, there is a bit of a problem with the mid-off fielder. She was sent back and now she comes back up into the circle. So an attacking field on the offside here for Zeta James. She comes in and this one is tickled fine. We'll call that an educated edge from the batter. It will run all the way down to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, 4 runs there from Ruben there, getting the outside edge. The ball spinning away by Zeta James. Left arm around the wicket into the right-hander. We'll have a look at it again. Off the back foot there. Let's say guided past the wicket keeper. Yeah, looking down, playing with the spin, pushing it down and getting to the boundary for 4 runs. So good shot there. There is no first slip for Zeta James, although we saw one just spin and bounce, catch the top edge of Samara Ramnath's bat, but no slip in place just yet. Just a very unique outfield on the offside. Just give you this description of it as Zeta James comes and bowls another dot ball there for her. This field on the offside, very interesting, Adam. There's a third point, a cover, a very straight extra cover, and a mid-off almost in line with that extra cover. So there's a huge gap between that straight extra cover. I'm very much tempted to call it a short mid-off, but there is a mid-off behind her. But there is a huge gap between that short straight extra cover and the cover fielder.
Well, I can say actually that I have seen this field before. My skipper in presentation on college, Justin Jagisar, currently playing for Trinidad under 19, the opening batsman. He has used this field before. When we've had opening spinners, we'd be looking for a ball along the lines of middle and off stump, a little bit too short to drive, but Zeta James will look to coerce the batsman into playing an up-ish shot, and that is the reason there for those two fielders so close into the bat. So because of the ball spinning away from the batters here, no slip, interestingly. That is the fielder that you would consider in an attacking field as we take a look at it here.
You see what we've been speaking about there on the offside. One spins past the outside edge.
Well, an attacking move from Zeta James, trusting her own bowling. She's been bowling well. So I think that may be the reason for such an attacking field. But again, like you said, a slip might not have been the craziest option there. With attacking intent obvious from Zeta James early.
Well, the problem she has with that, putting that first slip in, there is only 3 persons on the onside for her over. So we do see a change being made here. We just tried to get, is that Natalia Phillips coming back onto the field? So there would have been a substitute fielder on. Is that Alexander that came off there? And the physio, Akeem Hazel, is immediately attending to her. Oh, it's Sanika Nelson. She was on the field. Substitute fielder. Seems as though it was Philip that was off the field.
So it'll be Ross here to continue for her second over against Samara Ramnath. It's a better start on this occasion. She went for 8 off of her first over, a bit expensive with some extras. There was a good comeback in the end to keep the runs tally from spilling over a bit too much. So Selena Ross will look to fix her line and length here. She has been getting a lot of movement with that ball back into the right-hander. She's in here again to Samara Ramnath. We can see that movement again, and that is a really classy shot by Samara Ramnath. It's played out to the deep. There's a misfield by the deep mid-wicket fielder. It will allow them to come through for 2.
Yes, Samara Ramnath there working it into the onside there with the swing. There's a misfield out there in the deep at the deep. A backward square fielder on the boundary, and so Ramnath just racing down quite rightly, running the first one hard, touching down, and Terrell misfielding out in the deep there, and Samara immediately turned and called for the second. So excellent running there from the Trinidad and Tobago captain. Any youngsters watching, even adults watching out there would want to have a look at her running there. She executed that second run perfectly.
So it's Ross in here again swinging back into the batter. It's played down to the fine leg fielder. They will come through for a single. So leg by is actually signaled here by the umpire coming off the pad of Samara Ramnath. So the score moves on to 19 without loss off of 3.2 overs. Current run rate at 5.7. So they're motoring along well here. The Trinidad and Tobago ladies, just 42 more runs required off of 100 deliveries.
Katrina Rubin is going to be on strike. She's on 5 now. Angled in, and she's working it away onto the onside. Very good looking shot there. Waiting for the ball to come onto the bat. Breaking the wrist, turning it into the onside. Gets that single down to, comes off the leg in fact, but the intent was there to work it with the swing down to either backward square or fine leg, and she does manage to rotate that strike, and that's good going there from her. So she stays on 5 with that leg by. Ramnath is on 7. And both ladies here just using the swing, using their experience there, Ramnath, using the swing and the angle of the delivery into her, working it down to that fine leg position and rotating the strike here, Trinidad and Tobago. It's 22 without loss, 1 delivery to come in the over, and Adam, the Winward Islands will certainly need Selena Ross to be on her game here. She's one of the main spearhead bowlers for the Winward Islands team. Wanted to start that ball just outside the off stump.
Yep, the movement she's getting will certainly make it interesting for the batters. Right now it's just drifting down the leg side a bit. That is a better comeback though. It's played a little bit straighter down the ground for no run. So Selena Ross will complete her second over. She goes for 3 runs in that over. A much better comeback. No extras on this occasion. So the score moves on to 22 without loss of 4 overs. Ruben and Ramnath moving along very nicely here. Now only require a further 39 runs with a lot of overs left. So the Windwards will need to pick up a few quick wickets here to change things. And speaking of changing things, it seems as though Zeta James is taking herself out of the attack. And there will be a new bowler in Delisha Francois.
Yeah, Francois normally Zeta starts and she comes in first change or second change. She's going to replace the captain here. Francois with her right-hand medium pace bowling. And we're in the 4th over of the innings, so the power play is still in effect. There's a fine leg, a third on the boundary, backward point, cover. Zeta James at extra cover. Looks like Ross there at mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, square leg. Here's Francois.
It's a full delivery here to Samaya Ramnath. It's just driven back down the ground to the middle fielder. There will be no run. So a bit of a loosener there from Francois. She will look to get her line and length in order because Samaya Ramnath is not going to let many of those bad deliveries go. Down the leg side, a good take by the keeper crease. It's signaled a wide.
So Francois, ball angle down the leg side, wide delivery.
A bit of reshuffling from the skipper there, Zeta James, before this delivery, just getting the third and the fine leg fielders a little bit straighter. This one is played back in the air from Samaya Ramnath. There will be no run. Gilbert doing the tidying up there at mid-off.
And that one just pushed back in the air. Ruben ducking, getting out of the way.
Again in the air, this one over the infield. A bit of excitement here. This one over the infield. Captain Zeta James does really good work there. It went over her head initially, chasing it down, preventing any further runs. There was only 2 off of that. We can see her there looking maybe a little bit disappointed. She would like a little bit more from her fielders. She has been putting in the work here, Zeta James, using all of her experience.
Well, it's combination of the Ramnaths out there, one in the stands, one at bat, and there's a combination of furlongs here in the commentary box. As you can see, like minds thinking alike, trying to share the commentary. Most identical words coming out of our mouths there, Adam. But there's business out there in the middle. Francois to the captain Ramnath. 36 runs required, 24 runs on the board, no wicket down yet.
So Francois in here, she's gotten 3 runs off of her over so far. This is a bit short outside line of the off stump, and it's really good work again by the skipper Zeta James, preventing any further runs.
Yeah, Ramnath, you're feeling like she's missed out on one there, just turning away, looking out into the distance, trying to settle her mind. She's been very much the mainstay of this Trinidad and Tobago batting lineup this season.
So one left alone outside the line of the off stump will be signaled a wide by
Wide delivery there.
umpire Troy Tudor.
Yeah, Tudor down at that end there. Excellent game from both umpires so far. Couple times having word with the ladies out there. It's all a learning curve for them.
So Francois here into Ramnath. It's a wild swipe outside the line of the off stump. No contact made on this occasion. So that brings us to the end of the 5th over. The Trinidad and Tobago under 19 females are doing pretty well at 26 without loss. Samaya Ramnath out there on 10 from 20, and Ruben supporting her with 5 runs off of 11 deliveries.
So we have seen a change. We didn't speak about it yet, but there is a change in the batting order here for Trinidad and Tobago, with Katrina Rubin being asked to bat for the Trinidad and Tobago team and to open the batting with her captain. It's been Amrita Ramtahal, who the left-hand batter has been opening the batting in all the games so far. She is an opening batter, and has been opening the batting for Trinidad and Tobago for the season so far. So a bit of a change up in the batting order. And Ruben has been doing well so far with her captain. They've posted 26 runs so far. Of course, Ruben is the other wicket keeper in this Trinidad and Tobago team. Started the series wicket keeping for the Trinidad and Tobago team. Tamika Pargo came in the last game to take the gloves. And Ruben returns to the team, but this time she returns as the opening batter for Trinidad and Tobago. So Ramta Hal will just drop down the order. Perhaps she'll come at one down. Very much an accomplished opening batter for Trinidad, for her club cricket, well as her school team. So it's a bowling change here. It's going to be Destiny Edward who's going to bowl. Taking over from Selena Ross. This one hoisted in the air. Two fielders converge on it. And the catch is taken. The extra cover coming around there. And almost colliding with Gilbert, is it? With Philip rather. But the catch is taken. And that is the fall of the first Trinidad and Tobago wicket. And it's going to be Ruben there. I was just talking about her opening the batting. And she was looking good, settling into her innings. This time trying to go over the top. The new bowler coming on, Edwards. It was pitched full up into the air. The bat turning in her hand. And almost a clash there. But the catch being taken. It looks like Sadia Seaman taking the catch. High sky up in the air. Treading backwards. And eventually holding on to a good catch.
So a change in bowling there by the skipper, Zeta James, seems to have paid off of the first delivery. Actually, we saw the emotion James is feeling at mid-off right now. We saw the emotion. She came steaming into her players. And the Windwards are off here. They have taken their first wicket. Trinidad and Tobago were moving along really nicely at 26 without losses. Now 26 for 1.
Yeah, and as will inevitably happen with the fall of a wicket, Trinidad were going at 5.2 runs and over. And hence the reason the captain Zeta James would have been ecstatic with the fall of that wicket, because she knows when a wicket falls, that run rate is going to come down.
And to note, we've seen quick wickets fall in succession as well from almost every single inning so far in this tournament.
Yes, it's been pace in the commentary box trying to keep up with the fall of wickets. And this time Edwards is short of a length, starting on the leg stump, just working across, and a very competent looking Amrita just turns it into the onside. Accomplished opening batsman here for the Trinidad and Tobago team. Coming in one down in the order. Left hand batter. And there's no slip again. There's a third, a point, cover, extra cover mid-off.
So here's Destiny Edward to the new batter. It's outside the line of the off stump. It's in the air, but she finds the gap really well. They'll come through for 1. Thoughts about a second, but it's tidied up really well there in the end by the fast bowler, Selena Ross.
Yeah, that one just getting past. Looks like Alexander there in the offside. So the field is going to change around. Left hand, right hand combination out there. There's a long leg, a deep backward square, mid wicket, mid off. Have a look at it there. There is 3 on the offside in the inner ring. 22-yard ring. So played back, pleasant looking shot there. Back along the ground. Destiny does fielding off her own bowling. So Ramnath now just want to temper a little bit. It is the last over of the power play. Hence Ruben trying to capitalize in the power play, trying to go over the top. And you can't really blame her. The last over of the power play, you want to try and just capitalize on that fielding restrictions. She got it over the top, but it just caught up in the wind there. And couldn't clear the fielders, and a good catch in the end.
Yep, so I was just about to say Destiny Edward would have had to keep that ball on a tight line and length outside the off stump, because there is a bit of room afforded on the leg side there for Samara Ramnath. She just flicks that one away for a single. So again, reshuffling in the field here by skipper Zeta James. As we see Terrell just take up her position in cover. So the lefty, Ramzahal on strike here. Destiny Edwards will be in to complete her first over, having taken that 1 wicket and 2 singles. It's a good ball, just defended nicely by Ramtahal. That'll bring us to the end of the power play. The score is 28 for 1. Again, taking a look at the dot deliveries, 10 from Zeta James and 9 from Selena Ross. So opening bowlers here, compiling some 19 dot deliveries. We have seen the Trinidad and Tobago opening bowlers as well having a good few dots early on in the power play. So now the field. Well, Zeta James has a bit of a task on her hand. We are now out of the power play, so does she remain attacking with the field with fielders inside the circle, or does she spread it out a little bit? Because we know Samara Ramnath and Amrita Ramtahal will be perfectly content in just stroking the ball to the gaps or the deep fielders in the outfield, because not a lot of runs on the board here. As we said, only 33 more required off of a great number, 84 balls.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5-4 field here. 2 outside the ring. So it's going to be 7 in the ring to maintain some type of attacking field. In the air, pitched outside the off stump. Doesn't quite make it. Ross is there at mid-off. Comes around to do the fielding. Has a shy as Ramnath takes the single. She pushed that one rather uppishly. And that field that Zeta James had in place, that fielder was there, that short extra cover, it would have gone straight to her. But the field back to normal fielding positions. Orthodox field really set and just pushed past where that extra cover would have been. And a single to Ramnath. Ramtahal to face the first time, Francois. Angle into the leg stump. She just straight bats it out to Zeta James at mid-wicket. And that's one thing when you have the bowlers bowling these line and lengths, and it's predictable, and the technique of the batters is predictable as well. You want to have the right fielders in the right positions. Your best fielders you want to put them in the place where the ball will most likely go. This one worked into the leg side, straying down the leg side somewhat there, Francois, and Ramtahal quite competently puts it away past the square leg fielder, goes into the boundary for 4. Terrell giving chase, couldn't hold it back in, and as we said previously, it just races across this outfield here at Brian Lara Cricket Academy. 4 runs to the Trinidad and Tobago team.
Yeah, that was a terrific shot from Ramtahal. Of course, not the greatest delivery. I mean, she made that into a pretty good scoring opportunity. It was not the worst, wasn't the best, but it's flicked away beautifully behind square. Ball races away. Francois is in here again to Ramtahal. This one, smart batting there from Ramtahal. Having just scored a boundary, she just knocks it straight back to the bowler for no run.
Just looking at Ramtahal's trigger movement there, I saw it in the previous games that she played. That back leg, the left-hander batter, just backs away to the leg side as part of her trigger movement. So she just takes herself outside the line of the leg stump sometimes. Look at it there again. There's that back leg. Just going down the leg side in that trigger movement. So it takes her away from that delivery pitched outside the off stump and it goes past the outside edge. Normally you want to go back and across or just back. But her back leg, that left leg, just seems to be backing away to the line of the leg stump. Kind of pulls her away from the line of the delivery somewhat. There again, she's well in line. I'm not quite sure if it's because she is a left-hander and a right-hand bowler that would come over the wicket to her. She starts on that leg stump, so it's more body line bowling for her when the delivery goes across her. But in that over, it's Francois from around the wicket, right arm around. So when she backs away with that trigger movement, just takes her away from the delivery. But of course, anything that's angled into her legs, she's right in line for it, and she was able to put one away for 4.
Yep, she does create a problem opening up her stump somewhat with that backing away movement, but it seems as though she's very prolific with anything on those stumps, as we saw that flick shot just being absolutely dispatched. It's Edward to continue here, bowling to Samara Ramnath. This one a bit down the leg side. It's played well down to the fine leg fielder. Bit of tidying up required. There was maybe the thought of a second run, but it's rifled back in by that fine leg fielder. So just 1, and Ramtahal gets back on strike, having 5 runs off of 8 deliveries. Now only 27 required.
Yeah, and Ramnath doing what she's done all season. She's had scores of 49 not out in the last game, as well as a 35 against the Winward Islands. So she's in good form, Ramtahal, pulling away a bad short delivery down the leg side. There is protection in the deep power play is completed. And that throw comes in there. Nice throw from Amaya Gilbert out in the deep there. But very competently pulled away that ball into her body here. And this is what I was talking about with Ramtahal. And a right-hander over the wicket to her. And anything that starts on that leg stump to go across her, that left trigger movement gets her in a better line to play those deliveries. You just want to be careful. A bowler coming around the wicket to her.
So Samara Ramnath to face now. We saw her looking over her shoulder to the leg side. There are a good amount of gaps there. Two fielders being out. A deep square leg and a fine leg on the boundary. And then the two fielders in short on the onside, a short mid-wicket and a long on. So certainly a lot of green grass for Samara Ramnath to play that ball into there.
Yeah, very hot conditions out there today. Very sunny day. It's a day that you can afford to put your implements out in the sun to dry. This one pulled away by Ramnath. Over the head of, is it Selena Ross there at mid-on. Short. Quickly onto her back foot there. Ramnath to pounce on anything loose, and pounce on it she did and pulled it away for 4.
Well, we just spoke about that onside field. We spoke about there was a short mid-wicket in place and a mid-on. So we see on this occasion, Samara Ramnath, it was a shorter delivery, but outside the line of the off-stump, so she couldn't quite wrap around it to get it behind square, but just manages to clear. Selena Ross sticking that hand out there. Of course, once that ball got past her, it was racing in to the boundary of Samara Ramnath. Has been timing the ball really effectively so far. She moves on to 17. Destiny Edwards is in here again, and this is really well placed. They would do well to get 2 here. Yep, they would come through for the second, and it's good work on the boundary by Terrell again. She's been absolutely everywhere. So Samara Ramnath, that's well played there into the gap. She moves on to 19 with those couple of runs here.
So Ramnath mixing aggression with defense in this over. Couple balls pitched short. And interestingly enough, with that pull shot that went for 4 over mid-on, she got into position quite quickly and had to wait that fraction, which is why she got it so much in front of square, not quite coming on there with the pace of Destiny Edward.
So one is outside the line of the off-stump on a terrific shot. And what a great feeling effort by Captain Zeta James there, denying the Trinidad and Tobago skipper Samara Ramnath from a beautifully stroked boundary to the offside. How many times have we seen her brother? We spoke about him earlier, Rajiv Ramnath, absolutely prolific with that cover drive. It seems as though it's art. So whenever he plays it, it's off the middle of the bat every single time. Nobody on that cover stands a chance. But on this occasion, Zeta James stopping Samara Ramnath from collecting 4 there. It was great work by the skipper.
Yeah, the end of the 8th over, it's 43 for 1, and certainly batting runs in the Ramnath family. It's quality batting there, and a lot to admire and appreciate in that last delivery. A ball pitched up offside the off-stump delivery, inviting the drive. A good delivery from Edwards, but Ramnath matched with the ability to drive it past extra cover. But the left-hander Zeta James was so quick to get around. She's lightning fast in the outfield there. Caught back. Not to mention the rule of Pythagoras' theorem here. I don't want to get too technical, but she didn't go toward the ball. She ran around it to cut it off into the boundary. Left-handed dive across, hauling it in and getting that throw in. And 2 runs there. Good cricket all around. And this is what you want to see at this level here. Players executing their training to perfection. All aspects of it.
Agreed. And now we see a change in the bowling from the southern end. It'll be Alexander to bowl a right-handed medium pace, and this is flicked away by Ramtal into the gap. It's a good shot. They'll come through for a single. So the Windward ladies will have to tidy up and be as tight as possible here, because not much runs left for the Trinidad and Tobago women to chase down. And Samara Ramnath and Amrita Ramtal seem very much comfortable out in the middle there right now.
The difference between the 2 innings, the bad balls making it to the boundaries for the Trinidad and Tobago team. Hence the run rate over 5.39. There are some good dot balls mixed in between there, and good respect played by the Trinidad batters to those good deliveries. But anything loose, they have been quick to pounce on. And Samara Ramnath already on to 21 runs from 28 deliveries, striking really over 80% or close to it.
Well, this one is outside the line of the off stump. No shot offered by Samara Ramnath. Seems as though she may have thought it was a wide outside the line of the off stump. Not signaled on this occasion by umpire Tudor. We'll get a second look at it now. Well, again, you would have to say maybe a bit touch and go. This one live, we go back to live action. This one is signaled a wide by the umpire, so Samara Ramnath getting the result on this occasion. Now 16 runs required off of 7 deliveries.
Now Zeta James is going to have a decision to make here with 44 runs on the ball, just 16 runs required. It's not going to make it to 20 overs with the aggression shown by these batters out there. Zeta James has bowled 2 overs. The other seasoned bowler, Ross, having 2. It's another wide delivery here. So James is going to have to make a decision. Is she going to bring herself back on and get Selena Ross back into the attack? The 2 main spearhead bowlers for the Winward Islands team. Because as I said, this game is not going to make it to 20 overs. Because such is the run rate of the Trinidad and Tobago team. Adam, let's put on your captaincy hat here. What would be your decision?
Well, it's a bit hard to say at this moment. Zeta James, we know, is a very accomplished bowler. But not a lot of overs left from her either. They would need another Windward's bowler to come in clutch here. Selena Ross getting a good movement, but unfortunately for her, a bit expensive. Alexander as well, switching to right and around the wicket now. Rather, this ball moves across, and it's a thick edge out there to Simon in 3rd position.
And just as we saw when Alexander was at the crease and a right-hand bowler coming around the wicket, I'm not clearing that front leg and trying to pull it against the angle of the delivery. Pull it into the onside is a much... Or she plays it back to her better delivery, much better delivery, and popped up in the air. Ramnath offering an opportunity, and grass there by Nisha Alexander. We look at it here again. Push straight back at her.
Zeta James on her knees. They cannot believe that catch has been put down by Alexander. Maybe getting her hand in front of her eye line, not quite following the ball all the way. Samara Ramnath gets away with 1 here. So that brings us to the end now of 9 overs. The score is 46 for 1. Things would certainly have been interesting there had that catch been completed, because that would have seen the back of the skipper, Samara Ramnath. Certainly would have changed things up here as we see the physio making his way onto the field there.
Have another look at that opportunity there. And with the score Samara's been getting in this tournament, this is not the wicket you want to give away. This is not the wicket you want to put down. Even half chances, you would want to ensure that you get to it there. And it came at her head height. She got 2 hands up in the air, struck the hand. She didn't close her hands in time, and it popped off to the side. No chance of her getting a second chance at that catch. But going to ground there, and a big opportunity. Yeah, she had an opportunity to have a second bite at it, second bite at the cherry, but it wasn't to be. It's going to be the off spin of Gilbert to come on.
Well, we've seen Gilbert doing good work in the field so far. For her sake, maybe she can pull things back a bit here for the Winward ladies with her right-handed off-spin. She'll be bowling to Amrita Ramsdal, who's been holding her end pretty well here. 9 overs gone now, the last over before the drinks break. The batters will be maybe looking to defend a little bit as we see Ramtahal just stroking that ball back to the bowler just to get into the drinks break here, have a word with their coaches and see the game off.
It might just as well there. Ramtahal to take much of the strike in this over. She works it nicely in between the gap. This is her strength, really. She finds the gap there. Good technique. We mentioned that trigger movement that she does have. So anything angled into her legs, she's very proficient at working it away. And she does it with a straight bat at times through mid-wicket. This time just rolling the wrist, timing it to perfection, putting it in there in the gap there. There is a deep mid-wicket out there, so that single is available to her. And she was able to get off strike, rotate the strike, and takes her on to 8.
Well, it seems as though it may be getting too little too late here for the Winward ladies. There's some adjustments in the field occurring now. They will absolutely need to make something happen as we see Zeta James coming into the circle from her long on position. She gets back there now, just adjusting the field a bit. Everything will need to be perfect here. Samara Ramnath on strike. It'll be Gilbert. It's a flighted delivery down the leg side. She sweeps away. There will definitely be a couple of runs. The ball will get close to the boundary and eventually finds its way down there. So a bad delivery by Gilbert. And on this occasion, Samara Ramnath, showing all of her class, manages to find the gap perfectly and will run away to the boundary for 4.
Yeah, that has been the difference between the two teams so far today. Bad deliveries have been making its way well put away to the boundary. This time Ramnath pulling it away, finding the gap. There is a sweeper on the onside, but she couldn't get there in time. Edwards was chasing it down from square leg, and Tyrell on that boundary coming around, and neither of them could have hauled that one in. Takes Samara on to 25, and that is the difference between these two teams. The bad deliveries have been put away to the boundary. You see a fielding change. Edward dropped now down to that deep backward square on the boundary for the bowling of Gilbert. She changed her mind. She's going to come back into the ring. Perhaps the captain, Zeta James, just telling her, keep it on the off stump.
So here's a Gilbert again, and again, not a good delivery. It's flighted down on the leg side. A full toss. There seems as though there would not have been a run there, but a bit of a misfield by, looks as though it may be
Edward again. She
Edward,
was brought
yeah.
back up into that square leg position. And a full toss onto the pads of Ramnath, and very lucky indeed. They didn't go for 4, but
So
she was able to come back. She had a misfield there, but Gilbert was on the I beg your pardon. Tyrell on the boundary there. Does the repair work? Ramtahal on strike. 9 runs needed.
well,
2 deliveries to come, Adam.
frustration painted all over the face and body language of skipper James at the long off position. You would have to feel for her. She's really been putting in 100% for her team.
Well, she's just shaking her head there again, Adam, because she's trying to control the fielding position.
And this one is in the air. Oh no, and a bit of a mess by the short mid-wicket fielder. That would have again been interesting had the catch been completed. Maybe a little bit of misjudgment, as that one was off the top edge and went straight up into the sky.
Yeah, miscue there from Ramtahal, getting a leading edge over the head of Simon there at mid-wicket.
It's a better delivery. It's just punched to the short extra cover fielder in Terrell on this occasion. So that brings us to the midway mark of the first innings. The score is 54 for 1. Trinidad and Tobago and the 19 females going along pretty well here.
Yeah, very much in charge. Ramnath there not out on 26 from 35 deliveries. Ruben falling for 5. And Amrita Ramtahal not out on 10. That is the score of the Trinidad batting card. There are 13 extras in the innings. 9 wides, 1 no ball, and 3 leg byes. The fall of wicket at 26 runs. That of Ruben. Zeta James bowling 2 overs for 8 runs. Selena Ross opening the bowling with her 11 runs in her 2 overs. Francois came on 2 overs for 9 runs. Destiny Edwards also an opening bowler, but this time coming third change. 2 overs, 1 for 12. Did pick up the wicket. Anisha Alexander 1 over for 3. And Amaya Gilbert just completing her over there for 8 runs. A chance coming in that over there. And disappointment there for the Winward Islands so far. A couple chances going to ground. And Zeta James might just well bring herself back on after this drinks break here. We will be back on after this drinks break. It's 54 for 1 after 10 overs.
So we're back here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in the very overcast south part of Trinidad and Tobago. Samara Ramnath currently on 26 off of 35. Amrita Ramtahal on 10 off of 14. A further 7 runs required for the Trinidad and Tobago women's here with 10 overs left. Zeta James bringing herself back into the attack here. This one is just stroked away to the middle fielder. A quick single taken as we hear the cheers from Trinidad and Tobago supporters as well as the girls in the dugout. So ever so close now. Trinidad and Tobago only a further 6 runs required. A lot of time left and 9 wickets in hand, so it's looking problematic here for the Windwards. Zeta James, if they will need to put in a good effort here, if they have any chance of coming close to victory. So all the fielders brought into the circle now. An attacking move from the skipper. Ramtahal on strike.
Yeah, it'll be a very courageous performance here from both teams out there. The preparation for this tournament has not been great. We've not had a lot of good weather around Trinidad and Tobago leading into the tournament. So a lot of the sessions would have been indoor training sessions.
So on a spoon in the air, just gets past Terrell at extra cover, tidied up in the end by Gilbert at that mid-off position. So no run here, still 6 runs required. Ramtahal on strike. James has been bowling a pretty tight line and length. Just as I say that, this one is stroked away by Ramtahal. A great shot, finds a gap. It'll be 4 runs, no need to run for that one. That one races away to the boundary rope. So now Trinidad and Tobago, only 2 runs required. It seems as though they're almost there.
Yeah, the Winward Islands team here would be disappointed in this results there. You can see a lot of hands on hips there. That the partnership, 33 runs of 33 deliveries. A runner ball really. This one punched the backward point for Ramtahal. Looking for that single still. The Winward Islands team. Of course, we had that hurricane passing through the Caribbean here, affecting things in Trinidad and Tobago for the preparation, but affecting much more in the Windward Islands and in the Leeward Islands. A lot of damage with that hurricane across the wider Caribbean, including Jamaica as well. So a lot of rebuilding having to take place, a lot of repair work to those houses and those families being affected. Families, of course, of these players here as well. So we've been very courageous for these girls and the entire team really, with their coaching staff as well. Kemara Ito, and the coach Clayton Burnett, and of course the assistant coach Stacey Ann Adams. A lot of work to do with these players to keep them motivated as well. Their minds would have been back on things that are happening at home, back in their own individual countries in the Windward Islands. Come to the end of that over. 1 for 59, chasing target of 60, and just 1 run away from tying. 11 overs gone. So very much the writing on the wall here.
Well, it's been a truly exemplary performance, you'd have to say, by the Trinidad and Tobago opening batters, and Amrita Ramtahal at 1 long. We saw quick wickets falling for most of the other teams in this tournament early on, but we can see stuck in there, Samara Ramnath and Ramtahal just dug in and would refuse to give away their wicket easily, and seems to send Trinidad and Tobago onto their way to victory here. We can see, is it, yep, it's Selena Ross to continue. Expensive first over, but for her sake, she'll be hoping that she can keep it tight here.
Yeah, Ramnath getting over 100 runs in the series so far with this innings of 27. And Ross is coming back as we predicted into the attack here, but it's just 1 run, 2 runs to win rather. It's going to be good delivery there. Very good shot indeed. She calls for the single as it gets past the left hand of Ross. And the scores are tied.
So celebrations from the Trinidad and Tobago dugout on that single there. They've been celebrating every single run coming down to the end. Only 1 required now. We'll certainly hear eruptions. It's been a hard-fought game by the Trinidad and Tobago women. You'd have to feel for the Windward Islands. It's been a good performance, but in the end, Trinidad and Tobago have just been too good in chasing down these runs. 1 run required off of 53 balls. It could be done here. Ramtahal is on strike. Selena Ross will be coming in. So it's a full ball and she's bowled. What a delivery. Well, that was a beauty of a delivery there, just beating Amrita Ramtahal, going in between batter pads, so not to be hitting the winning runs for Amrita Ramtahal. The celebrations from Trinidad and Tobago will have to be delayed a bit. The Winward Islands picking up their second wicket here, maybe a little bit too little too late, you might feel.
Well, it's one thing T20 cricket would teach you. It's never over until it's over. And the wicket of Ramtahal there, she played all over that there, trying to get the winning run. But Ross has been bowling left arm, going across that left-hand bat of Ramtahal. And Ramtahal trying to go against the swing of the delivery into the onside. She's been very proficient going through the onside. But this time, losing shape there somewhat, head a bit in the air. Just excitement to try and get over the line and score that winning run. And she loses her wicket.
Yep, agreed. We can hear the cheers from the Trinidad and Tobago dugout here, just clapping in the one-down batsman, Ramtahal. It was a pretty good knock. Well, a really good knock, actually, helping steer her team to the victory, towards victory. It's Jessica Orozco here coming in to see out this game. She joins her skipper, Samara Ramnath. Selena Ross now picking up that one wicket. She's gone for 12 runs. Just one more run required here for the Trinidad and Tobago women to do it.
You know, a bit of a change in the batting order again. It's going to be Orozco. Jessica Orozco coming in. Number 4. Just one run to get. She'll have to contend with Selena Ross. Very accomplished bowler. Left arm over the wicket to her. Looks like she's on a middle stump guard. The ball is going to be angling in toward her.
So Ross comes in here to Orozco, and that's a great delivery. There's a big appeal. That was really oh, and the umpire belatedly raises his finger. Well, certainly, no, it's really interesting. We see Selena Ross picking up 2 and 2. Orozco goes without scoring. It's a golden duck. And as you said, it may be never over until it's actually over. One run defended here. No, Selena Ross is coming back. Had she taken this couple wickets early on in her opening spell, things would have certainly been interesting. We see the medium pacer Espinosa coming in now. The tide has changed a bit here as we look back at this delivery. What a ball by Ross. Oh, and that one.
Yeah, the umpire there really can't fault him for that. It struck her full on the foot. So he had a good look at it. That ball is swinging. You can see the middle stump. But of course, when the impact is full, the umpire has to take account. He cannot be assuming that the ball is going to continue moving after impact. The impact was full on her foot. She was in line with the wicket and left the umpire there. Willoughby no choice but to raise his hand there. And Orozco has to go without scoring, facing up to her first deliveries. And in T20 cricket, I will repeat, Adam, it's never over until it's over. Anything can happen in this game. As we see, even Ben Stokes on the monitor here on the screens at the ground has his head in his hands as well. But he has suffered long for that innings of Carlos Brathwaite that we keep seeing replayed on the screens here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy to remind us it's never over until it's over. It's Espinosa. She comes in. Ball pitched by Ross. This time outside the line of the off stump. Played out into the covers. There is no run. Francois does the fielding there. Now, very interesting over here. The commentators are on their seat. The producer is standing as well. And it's a lot of excitement building here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Because this facility, no strangers to gate finishes, Adam.
Well, we saw some interesting games in the World Cup as Selena Ross comes in. Oh, and it's another full delivery and another one.
It's never over until it's over. And Selena Ross, she's always had the potential with this ball swinging around out there all day. The left-hander starting on the off-stump line, swinging in full impact onto the leg of Espinosa. She's limping off there. And a repeat of the delivery that got Jessica Orozco out. And Espinosa in a bit of an injury. She's limping off the field there.
Well, so much excitement here in this game on the commentary box. We forgot to mention the fact that Selena Ross was actually on a hat trick. She did not complete the hat trick because the previous ball to Espinosa was a dot delivery. But on this occasion, 3 wickets in the over. And Espinosa limps off there. It's certainly Samara Ramnath can do absolutely nothing to help her team there. She's been stuck on a non-striker's end. And she looks at batters around her just falling left and right. The score was 60 for 1?
60 for 1.
60 for 1 without
With
a
the fall
single
of
runner.
Hal wicket there, playing all over 1. And that is why 1 wicket, they say, brings 2. And just looking at Delanis Espinosa there, she is being helped off the field by the sports and conditioning Candice Joseph, as well as Akram Hazel, just helping her off the field there. They'll want to have a look at that foot. She was struck on that back leg.
Well, speaking as batsmen that have faced opening bowlers before, we know that that is no easy feat to overcome. A Yorker, bang on your foot. That one is bound to hurt, and it'll hurt even more for Trinidad and Tobago as well, because things are certainly becoming tight here. Brianna Haricharan would not have expected to be in right now, but she is, and she's facing up to Selena Ross. What a comeback this has been in this over. The win was oh no!
That's it.
You cannot believe it.
Down the leg side, and the excitement is completed here. Trinidad and Tobago with the victory, but not without excitement in this game here. 61 for 4, and it's been a very eventful over, and we've been speaking about this Winward Islands team and their ability. Zeta James, Selena Ross, they have the ability with the ball, and they have been the ones shepherding this team through this tournament and in the last year as well. And an excellent over, picking up 3 wickets in that final over of the match by Selena Ross, showing all her ways there and her ability to swing the ball. And that is the value of left-arm fast bowlers, Adam.
Yep, certainly a great comeback. We spoke earlier when you asked me who you would think to bring back. I said the skipper James, and I said Selena Ross. You know, that left hand coming over the wicket to the right hander, ball angling and swinging back into the right hander will always cause some problems. She bowled full and straight on the wicket, picking up those 3 wickets there. You would have to feel for her. Such an amazing comeback, and in the end, Trinidad and Tobago women get through on an extra. Wow, what an ending to this game. Certainly, we've certainly seen some excitement here in the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. We've also seen some rain and some testy conditions, but wow, the under-19 teams, all under-19 teams have certainly pulled through to provide some really, really exciting games. Again, commendations to the bowlers. Have made things really, we have seen a few extras, but they have made things really, really interesting, picking up wickets in crucial times. What a last over to see us off there.
Yeah, the adrenaline was pumping here in the com box. The adrenaline was pumping there out in the field of play. And some handshakes taking place between the players. First handshake to be had was between the 2 coaches, Kelvin Williams and Coach Clayton Burnett, and accepting the result here. Both coaches in appreciation of each other's hard work, and as well as the performances of both teams that we've seen out there today. And Windward Islands just pulling it back a little bit. And Trinidad and Tobago has had some close wins in this tournament. The first game, just 4 runs. And then that was against Guyana, losing by 4 runs. And then a win against the Leeward Islands, getting home in the 19.4 deliveries of the final over. Trinidad and Tobago getting victory there. And again against Jamaica on Sunday, getting to victory in the 18th over. And each time Trinidad and Tobago has chased, they have done it chasing, just getting it right at the final delivery. So 3 wins there for the Trinidad and Tobago team, and just 1 loss now.
Well, before we close off them, I must say a special shout out to Samara Ramnath. We saw her walking back in. The supporters here were on their feet applauding her. Truly a captain's experience throughout the entire tournament for Samara Ramnath. She comes not out here after a really good spell of bowling. It's an exemplary performance. And it must also be noted that Samara Ramnath is significantly younger than her compatriot. She took 3 for 5 today. Wow, what an example she's setting here for the older ladies. And we know that she has a few years left in this Trinidad under-19 camp. Already the skipper. Wow, Samara Ramnath, there aren't even words to describe how impressive she's been throughout this tournament.
And not just with bat and ball, but as captain as well. Her field placing has been on point. Her strategic changes in the bowling and in the fielding, and a proud performance there. She just waves at her family and fans in the stands here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Well, certainly one to look out for, because we also have not mentioned the fact that she was retained by the TKR for CPL. It's only up for Samara Ramnath. She's incredible. At such a young age, it's absolutely incredible. She's moving her way up through the ranks as quickly as you would like. Certainly a player to look out for in the futures for the West Indies and TKR and whatever.
Well, there's another name there for the TKR, Adam. Not just Samara Ramnath, but Zeta James as well is in there. So very exciting times for Trinidad and Tobago and exciting times for the Caribbean in terms of women's cricket here. And we've seen all the talent showcased here in this regional tournament. The under-19 women's game here. Trinidad and Tobago coming off with a win. Just run through the batting card. Samara Ramnath opening the batting, making 28 out of 37. Katrina Rubin a change in the batting order. She came quite competent in fact, and trying to take advantage of the final over of the power play, but she fell for 5. Amrita Ramtahar looked quite proficient, the opening batsman, coming in one down, scoring 14 off of 20, trying to win the game with one final hit and one ball remaining. Kind of triggered a mini slide there, but Selena Rush, she was on the ball, picking up 3 wickets in her final over, but it was not to be. Those wickets fell of Ramtahal, Orozco and Espinoza, the last 2 going for no score. And it was Vice-Captain Brianna Harichan that had to come in and face the music out there and a wide delivery from Selena Ross. And that was the end of the game. And that was all she wrote. We see the Trinidad and Tobago team there just appreciating all the fans that came out to support them. The bowling card for the Winward Islands, Zeta James, 3 overs for 13 runs, bringing her cell phone back after the drinks break. And then bringing on Selena Ross as well after the drinks break. 2.5 overs for her. 3 for 13 runs and exciting prospects for West Indies cricket, those two. Delisha Francois, 2 overs for 9 runs. Destiny Edwards, 2 overs, 1 wicket for 12 runs. Nisha Alexander, 1 over for 3 runs. And Amaya Gilbert, 1 over for 8 runs. So that's the story here from the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And tune in again when we have more games coming up in the CWI Rising Stars Women Under 19 Tournament 2024. And we'll see you again.